gonna sue me, because it is what it is. And what it is, ain't it? What it is what it is, and that's it. Got 100,000 comics without any buyers, and a lot of insurance for warehouse fires. Because it is what it is, and what it isn't ain't it. What it is what it is, and that's it. I sold 3D assets to a bunch of asshats for a pile of cash that's all gone up in smoke. Because it is what it is, and what it is, ain't it? What it is what it is, and that's it. You know a grifter's gonna grift and a scammer gonna scam. Next I'll sell these morons a comic about horsemen. Because it is what it is, and what it isn't ain't it. What it is what it is, and that's it. You know a grifter's gonna grift and a scammer gonna scam. Next I'll sell these morons a comic about horsemen. Because it is what it is, and what it is, ain't it? What it is what it is, and that's it.
Oh my gosh. Let me make sure that this microphone is working. And yeah, we should be live. Oh my goodness. We're live all over the internet. Thank you guys for joining another episode of the Watchfrogs. This is episode 166. Oh boy, what a news day. What a news week. It's been jam-packed full of all sorts of exciting stuff. And this is, we're going to start off strong, man. We got to start off very, very strong and dive into this crazy situation with Karmello Anthony being sentenced to 35 years in prison for fatally stabbing young Austin Metcalf, who was a minor when all of this occurred. And he was a minor too, I believe. I think he was 17 years old. So for people wondering why he's not getting the DP, if you know what I mean, it's because of their age. Let me make sure that we are live where we need to be before we dive into this. What's going on? Morse code says, what's up, consumers? If you are consuming, go ahead and leave a comment or go ahead and put something in the chat what you've been consuming this week. I had potatoes for dinner. Very, very traditional. Let me make sure that I am on Rumble. I'm live. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so we're good. We're good on Rumble. Let me make sure that we're live over on BitChute. Let me check up on the bitches before we continue. Okay, why it says that I'm live in two different places. What's going on here? What's going on here? Okay, no, we're good on BitChute. But it says I'm doing a live show for the episode 165. Whatever. I'm just gonna chalk it up to BitChute being crappy and stupid. But you know how it is. I'll make sure that I am good over on YouTube and Twitter. Let's see. We got Chaz in the house going to bed early tonight. Hope you have a good stream. Thank you so much, Chaz, and hopefully you get some much needed rest. Goodness, man. Goodness. Let me see. Make sure that I am okay. Yeah, we're live. We're good over on Twitter. What's up, Twitter? Hope you guys are great. Let me go ahead and make sure that I'm monetizing the stream. Sometimes I forget and I miss out on those shekels, man. I gotta be more mindful of that. Okay, we're good. Everybody, thank you so much for joining. Let's go ahead and just begin with Karmello Anthony. I'm not gonna dive into the minutia of the case or all the little itty bitty details. This is not necessary. I feel like a lot of people kind of understand why things played out the way that they did. Some things that are kind of notable that just cannot be ignored is how quick this trial went. It was incredibly fast, from jury selection to deliberation to sentencing. The jury they issued their verdict within like an hour or two. It was really, really short, and then they sentenced Karmello Anthony to 35 years. I would have assumed that we probably would have had a verdict by the end of the week, so that would have been a Friday. It is currently Tuesday right now. It's also ongoing as we speak are some primaries in South Carolina and in Maine that are very notable that we might go over later on. I don't want to go too long on the stream. I really have quite a few thoughts about this Carmelo Anthony scenario. One of them being, first of all, I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to begin. Let's start with a response from a certain group of people, a certain demographic, and I want to speak in generalities here, so I don't get into any sort of trouble or I get accused of being like really mean and nasty. But I feel like we're in a lot of trouble as a society when there is a segment of the population that is not interested in dispensing justice for victims. They're not interested in comforting the afflicted. They are more interested in inflicting pain onto the innocent, and that's a huge problem. Savannah Hernandez, the on the ground reporter, she was interviewing individuals who were in the pro Carmelo Anthony camp, which is kind of a crazy sentence to utter now that I think about it. And they were saying things like, "Well, we're going to stand by ours no matter what." And it seems like it doesn't matter what evidence is produced, what evidence is dangled in front of them. They will never be sympathetic towards the victims of this horrific violence. And there's also a segment of the population that is interested in placing themselves on the jury merely to ensure that the violent criminals are not held accountable for their actions. And this was admitted during jury selection. There was an individual, a very, part of the Rainbow Coalition, if you will. And this individual made it very clear they can't possibly convict a Carmelo Anthony because of immutable characteristics. You can't have that person on the jury. There were also teachers of the, same race, if you will. And they didn't want teachers specifically on the jury because a lot of teachers didn't feel comfortable throwing a child, or not, he's not a child anymore, but throwing a young person who looks like one of their students in prison for many decades. Carmelo Anthony's going to be spending, if we're lucky, 35 years in prison. But given how our justice system fails victims and continuously victimizes them, he may be out in 17 years as of making this video, or as of doing this live stream. That would mean he would be out of prison by the time he's 32, 33, 34 years old. It's plenty of time for him to live the rest of his life comfortably. I don't know what that life would look like, because I am not a criminal, and I've never been in this situation, nor will I ever. And that's just the reality of it. Carmelo Anthony may very well get out of prison in his early 30s if he is found to be eligible for parole, and he'll get to live the rest of his life. He'll fall in love. He'll probably start a family. He'll be able to get a career of some sort. If he's smart while he's incarcerated, doing his hard time, he'll get his college degree or two, of course, paid for by the taxpayer, and he'll be able to move on. Carmelo Anthony's victim will not be able to move on because the victim is deceased. They are no longer among us. Austin Metcalf was stabbed in the heart because Austin Metcalf committed the grave imaginary sin of insulting a certain group of people, or in this case, Carmelo Anthony, insulting him, damaging his fragile ego. And that is why Austin Metcalf is no longer with us. I call it the Eric Julyification of America, where if you disrespect a certain group of people, they feel that it is within their right to inflict grave bodily harm against you, to seek out revenge against you for bruising their fragile ego. I mentioned Eric July. It's funny because I thought about it. And it's one of the main criticisms of the comic book Isom. The main character was literally killing people in the comic book because he was disrespected. That's what villains do. That's what Dick Masterson said. That's what villains do. And of course, Isom, the character, or Ivory Knox, or whatever his stupid name was, this character was a stand-in for Eric July. And Eric July acted a lot like this Avery character, this Avery Knox individual. And when he felt that he was disrespected, when he felt that people weren't respecting his low effort slop, he sought to destroy their YouTube channels, take them down for mere basic bitch criticisms. He felt the need to conspire with law enforcement and literally put his critics in jail for daring to make jokes at his expense. Karmello Anthony did the same thing to Austin Metcalf. He's like, "You're not going to tell me what to do," Karmello essentially stated with his words and actions. "You're not going to boss me around." He said, he was antagonizing the other players at this track meet underneath that tent on that horrific day. And because he felt disrespected, because he felt they made an ass out of him, he plunged a knife into the heart of Austin Metcalf. The scenes in the court, as described by the journalists that were there, unfortunately, this wasn't televised or live streamed, the court, the trial at least. The way that they described it was horrific. People were crying. Obviously, the family members were in serious emotional distress. The jury themselves were in serious emotional distress when imagery of Austin Metcalf injured, if you will, were depicted on, before them. A lot of people couldn't handle it. There was no defense of Karmello Anthony that would be sufficient to suggest that self-defense was warranted. So a lot of people don't understand, and people just don't understand, the case itself. They claim that they've been following it for some time. They're liars. They don't understand it. And we're gonna go over 3 individuals. One of them is going to be a former congresswoman. Thank God she will no longer be in politics by the end of the year. That's Jasmine Crockpot. I'm sick of her shit. Let me go ahead and read these comments before we continue. Jesus Cat, why are you not on Kick? I had to log in and I forgot my login credentials. I apologize for the Kick viewers. I saw one guy being a douche about the verdict, but I decided it's best to pretend that guy doesn't exist. Yeah, it's impossible to engage with these people, Zombie Bomb, because they're willfully ignorant. They're arrogant in their ignorance, and they're saying a lot of really heinous stuff about the victim. I've elected not to make horrific jokes at the expense of Karmello Anthony because I don't want to be seen as racist or anything like that. And there's a lot of that going around. And again, like, it doesn't bother me. It's a free country. I'm a big believer in unfettered speech. So if that's what people want to say, they can say it. I want to go in a different direction though on this stream. I hope I don't see anyone else being rainbow. We'll see. Form of rage bait. 99% of female teachers would have sided with Karmello just because. Yeah, Buckaroo Banzai, you're not wrong. You're almost 100% correct. That's likely what would have happened. I like to rage bait boomers and Tim Pool's chat on Rumble. It's easy. Oh gosh, I can't even bother to watch Tim Pool anymore. I haven't watched him in over a year, I think. That is prime hunting grounds. Geo, can you speak at 1.25 speed? I wish. Geo's thinking pipes are clogged, so this is as fast as you can go. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I don't do drugs, so I just have that inability to speak as quickly as somebody like Destiny. And I don't get, I'm not granted the courtesy that Hassan Piker's audience grants him, where he just like sits there for like 12 hours and says like nothing. But hey, good for him. Good for him. You're not white, so you can't be racist. Yeah, that might be true, Brad Skagg. But when I try to cash in on my BIPOC status, I get denied and get called a cracker anyways. I don't understand. So it's like, it really depends who I'm arguing or talking with. Either I'm like the honkiest of the honkies and I'm like a Nazi, or I'm a swarthy devil who deserves to be put in a camp and like deported to Africa or something. Like I can't win. So yeah, if I can just get accused of never being racist, that'd be awesome. But I don't think it works that way, especially for me. Aliens, time to talk about Black Queens. Oh God. Yeah, we're gonna go over the Disclosure movie. I might watch it with a buddy because we're gonna go out for drinks on Friday. So we might see that. I don't know. I'm probably gonna pirate it if I can pirate it tonight. I'll watch it and I can do a proper review on the next stream of what I think about it, and maybe talk about the religious implications of the movie, if there will be any. Who knows? It's a Steven Spielberg flick, so Steven Spielberg, he's a big time guy. Everything he does is really big, so it might be a big deal. I don't know. I feel like there might be a resurgence of cinema attendance again. I think people are kind of sick and tired of like the streaming life, if you will. They're kind of done with the whole streaming fad. And people are gravitating towards the real. They want authenticity. They want real experiences, and going to the movie theater and watching a movie is a real experience. And it seems that people really enjoyed the back rooms. I saw like the first like 8 or 9 minutes of it, and I thought it was kind of boring, so I didn't watch it. You're the Malaysian Eagle. God damn it, you delete that comment. And also the Obsession movie, people seem to really like that. I didn't see it. It doesn't really interest me. I just don't really care. But yeah, what I really wanted to say about this Carmelo Anthony situation before we dive into some of the crazy responses is that it reminded me of Sam Harris. And he was going to write this book. I mentioned it before. He was going to write this book called Letter to a Liberal Nation. And the gist of it, and maybe somebody who's maybe more familiar, you can throw me some rope here. But the gist of it was Sam Harris would be pleading with the readers, more specifically people who are liberal, people who are more aligned with, progressivism, if you will, and saying, look, while we have a lot of really great ideas, we really need to stop and think critically about the insane direction that we're going in regards to crime and immigration, because it is causing grave harm to really great societies. We are displacing and replacing people. And even worse, we are displacing and harming people in crime-ridden towns, crime-ridden cities. I would know, I live in one. And because of that, we're going to get the next spooky mustache man. We will get a dictator. We will get somebody worse than, the Führer, if you will. And this is something that has been echoed very recently by the likes of people like Nicholas J. Fuentes. In 2024, before the general election, before the historic electoral miracle that occurred, Nick Fuentes made the pitch, like, we need Kamala Harris to win. Me and the Groypers are going to help the Democrats win. And we're going to continue on this path of destruction and despair and insanity so we can get the next spooky mustache man. And so it was kind of prophetic that Sam Harris would say that. And I thought a lot about that. And he kind of backtracked, and he obviously did not write that book, or if he did write most of it or some of it, he decided not to continue to do so. And obviously he never published it. But I thought about something he said during, I don't know if it was like an interview or a debate or a podcast or whatever, but he made it very clear that he feels like it's not his place, or somebody like him cannot be the guy to communicate these ideas to people who are largely afflicted by this sort of violence and criminality. Let's say the rainbow community, the Rainbow Coalition community. He can't be the person to tell them to support the police, defund the police nonsense, and to call out the criminality within their own communities, because he is a white guy from the East Coast who's very uppity and rich and well educated, and he's basically communicating this message of like, let's be sane and not stupid message. He can't communicate that to, let's say, a BIPOC community. He can't communicate that to the working class or the productive class types, people who are in the lower rungs of society. He felt like that wasn't his place, and I completely understand where he was coming from. And I think now more than ever, we need to communicate this to the Rainbow Coalition and let them know and plead with them to stand with us against senseless barbarism, senseless violence against children, like what was witnessed at that Memorial High School track meet. Austin Metcalf had a knife plunged into his heart, senselessly, over nothing. And as a result, the Rainbow Coalition has been protesting, has been acting a fool outside of the court, threatening people, making it very clear, like, they don't care what Karmello Anthony did. They are going to support him and defend him no matter what, and plead, make the case that he should be free. And I would suggest that I think it's important for these people to stand with guys like us, the sensible types who are sick of the violence and the criminality. We need to stand together, and not make this about race. What Something that the dad said of Austin Metcalf is like, this is not about race, and we should not racialize this or politicize it. And I think that was the right thing to do. I hope I didn't really do that when talking about this when it initially happened. Uh, but we didn't. I feel the people on the so-called right, the centrists, the sensible, sane types who are, pro police, pro law and order, pro sanity, that sort of thing. We didn't want to racialize this or make this about race. But it was. The Karmello Anthony family smeared and maligned Austin Metcalf and his family, suggesting that they are racist, that they are Nazis, that they're, evil Trumpsters and maggots and whatever, whatever, whatever. And again, like, Austin can't defend himself because he is dead. And they made up all kinds of lies about Austin Metcalf and his family. More specifically, Austin Metcalf. I remember that were circulating that, like, the sheriff, like, leaked his medical records and he was like a drug addict and he's all, dude, they didn't stop. And that was a grave error on their part, because obviously the jurors know, people know what they did. Everyone knows what these people did. They attacked this family and they attacked this dead boy. And as a result, Karmello Anthony is now going to spend 35 years in prison if we are lucky, at the very least 15 to 17 years for sure. This is wrong. Like, we need legacy Americans, and that does include the Magic American variety. We need to stand together against senseless violence against children, senseless violence against anybody, and not make excuses for anybody. And this is a very unique issue that I've witnessed since covering fake hate crimes and covering other big nationwide criminal events. The only group that seems to do this are people who look like Karmello Anthony. That's a big problem. When George Zimmerman was on trial for the horrific death of Trayvon Martin, it was very tragic, obviously, but it was lawful self-defense. The white community, if that's what we want to call it, they weren't rallying to defend George Zimmerman no matter what. Never have I ever heard anybody say we need to defend George Zimmerman no matter what. He ended up shooting a kid in self-defense. And it is a horrific situation to be in, but it happened. It was lawful. And if it wasn't, you weren't going to see guys like me doing backflips or, going out rioting and looting and whatnot. That's just not what guys like me do, what people like me do. But there's another group of people where if they do not get their way, they're going to do this, and that needs to stop. Because the direction that these trials go in, depending on the outcome, you get large groups of large sections of the population that are issuing threats of violence and saying horrific things about the family that was afflicted by this horrific crime. And it's making people more racist. It's making people more hateful. It's eroding whatever little trust the society has in itself. It's going to be gone. And again, they did it to themselves because they're so caught up in their rage, in their anger, in their animus, in their jealousy, etc., etc. And again, like, I don't really think there's anything I can do about this. I can talk about this case honestly. I can talk about the details and the law about it honestly, because I know it and I have very little experience in this topic. But the people that are opining on this on the other side, or at least from the activist left side, they don't see it that way. And again, I don't really think they care, because it seems like their whole MO is just to say, fuck whites. This is what they get. They've had it too good for too long. More reparations. This is social justice, etc. And again, like, that's a non-starter for the overwhelming majority of people. And it's just not going to end well. It's not going to end the way that the people that are pushing lies about Austin Metcalf and his family is going to go. It's not going to go the way they think it's going to go. It's going to end up hurting them in ways they're not going to understand for a few years. Maybe even less. man, it is heartbreaking to see like people that I thought were sensible just go completely fucking nuts over this. And they want to make this case about things that it's not. Let me read some of these comments here before we continue. I'm looking at a video about the case. There really are a lot of people who think Karmello is innocent. Crazy. Yeah, dude, it's worse than crazy, man. I'm almost at a loss for words. Yo, Gia, did you see the Henry Novak stuff? That stuff is this, but 10 times more egregious. Morse code, I did. I have, when it was going on, I probably should have talked about it last week. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's really difficult to talk about Henry Novak without getting insanely emotional. Because what happened to Henry Novak is what people pretend happened to George Floyd. And again, I don't have a favorable opinion about George Floyd because he's a career criminal. This is the guy who lived a very bad life. He was a bad dude. But I never gloated and said that he deserved it or that I'm happy that he's gone or anything like that. Because again, I'm not about celebrating, that sort of horrific violence on people, even if he was a bad dude. As far as I'm concerned, he paid his debt to society, even though he was committing crimes when he passed away. But and again, like they summoned medical for him. Granted, it got there late. Again, if I was Derek Chauvin, I wouldn't have done what he did. I don't want to stand or sit on or place my knee on somebody while they're saying that they're essentially dying, and he was, but we're not going to go there. But yeah, Henry Novak, man, dude, there's got to be change, man. There's got to be change in Europe. Like they got to get rid of these people. They have to go. Like we tried diversity. We tried living as one. We tried living the way that John Lennon wanted us to live. And you know what? It's not working. And now there's another horrific case. I think it was over in Belfast where, this guy's on video literally being decapitated by one of these stunning and brave refugees. Yeah, I'm sorry, man, but like we can't fucking do this anymore. And now, like, I'm thinking about the future. How the fuck are we going to deal with jury selection when now that we know there's a segment of the population that doesn't give a fuck about the evidence, they don't give a fuck about the victims, they're going to let them go no matter what because of how they look. Like, that's a problem, man. That's a big problem. I'm speechless. I think race is an important part of the story. It is now. I'll circle back to that, Brad Skag. My theory is that someone visits the grieving family to nudge them into saying the right thing. Morse code, that 100% happens. That does happen. There's a government agency. There's this group, a part of the federal government. That's literally their job. Their job is literally race relations. It's kind of sickening because we can't have an honest discussion about the reality of crime in America. We can't have an honest discussion about the link between action and belief. We can't talk honestly about the differences between cultures. That's where we're at. I got a manager offer at a nice bar because an old customer of mine freaked out on Facebook about me not working at the hotel anymore. LOL. Oh, well, good for you, man. You should probably stream more often. You could have compared him to Eric July too. No, I don't know about that. Nebo, we've known about leftists not caring about the truth. You just want to avoid the conversation of solutions. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Hold on, guys. I need a swig of this juicy water. Woo. Oh, yeah. Where was I? Brad Skaggs says something that I wanted to circle back to. I think race is an important part of the story. Here's where it would have been interesting. And again, because right now the theme in regards to the diversity problem and with crime and criminality, cultures clashing, etc., is the two-tiered justice system. There's a two-tiered justice system in the UK where if you are a white individual or somebody of European stock or English stock like Henry Novak, and you are falsely accused without any evidence of being racist and I guess harming or hurting the feelings of somebody who's like a refugee or whatever, the cops are going to treat you like shit. They're going to completely disregard the claims that you make. And the claims that Henry Novak made was that he was stabbed and that he's in pain and that he can't breathe. And they refuse to believe him. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's on camera. You guys have obviously seen it. You're caught up with it. They refuse to believe him. And now they're trying to save face. It's like, oh, well, he would have died anyways. Doesn't fucking matter. You think that's a good enough excuse for George Floyd? Oh, well, he would have died anyways. No, you guys got to get George Floyd medical attention immediately. The guy was dying. Henry Novak was stabbed. He needs medical attention immediately. But they're like, oh, I don't think so, mate. Show me your license, mate. Fuck you. And they do, like, most people, like, dude, growing up, when I was a little babby in the 90s and shit, I was a little kid in the early 2000s, like, dude, like, most people weren't, like, racist, you know, like, most people didn't have, like, a racial conscience, you know, like, I talk about when I was working for the election departments and whatnot, working for the government, you know, like, I grew up rough, broken home, etc. But my managers, mostly women, and one of them was a wonderful African American lady. They were like moms to me, you know. So this is why I'm just like, you know, there's goodness out there, but right now the bad people are the loudest, and it's harming the ability for people to get along in a legitimately diverse country. We are going to see a lot more racism. We are going to see a lot more hatred. We're going to see a lot more anger and distrust, and it's because of the actions of these activists who choose to malign and smear the Metcalf family. Like, that doesn't sit well with me. Like, I can't click up with people like that. I can't fuck with people like that, you know? And like, dude, guys, like, shit's gonna pop off, man. Like shit's going down, and people are gonna click up, and you know, the motherfuckers that are going out there and attacking the Metcalf family, and they're deliberately making up lies about the family and about the details of the case. You guys are gonna be outnumbered, and you guys are gonna be alone, and you're not gonna have a political faction that's gonna have your back. Like I talked about this a while ago, but it reminded me of the Diego Stoles murder in California. A young Latino boy, a little Latinx boy. I think he was like in ninth grade, maybe in middle school. I think he was like 13 or 14 years old. This guy was punched in the head, and he collapsed. He hit his head on like a concrete barrier or a concrete pillar or something, and he was declared technically dead 9 or 10 days later. And of course, the perpetrator, I had to look it up today. The perpetrator that murdered this boy, the perpetrator looked like Karmello Anthony. And of course, he was protected because he's part of that protected class. See, this is where the two-tier justice system comes from. Little Latino boy dies, nobody gives a fuck, and of course, they let the killers go. And there was a pattern of abuse, of bullying at this school. The parents were trying to defend their baby boy, and the fat retards at the school didn't do a fucking thing because they didn't give a shit. Because he was a Latino boy. If he's a white boy, they wouldn't give a fuck. If he was Asian, they wouldn't give a fuck. But if he looked like Karmello Anthony, it's international news. Those kids didn't go to jail. Those kids are gonna go to prom. They're gonna be able to do, you know, go to the sports games. They're gonna be able to graduate. They're gonna go to college, have those college experiences. Diego Stoles' family, they were awarded $26 million after the school allowed this kid to be bullied and then murdered by an asshole who looks like Karmello Anthony. Latinos know what's up. They already click up in prison with the neo-Nazis and shit. In the real world, it's going to happen exactly the same. I talked about this extensively in a post on YouTube because somebody asked, like, what's the deal with these Latinx groiper types gravitating towards the spooky mustache man faction? And I explained it, you know, quite clearly. You know, it's because of shit like this. Holy fuck, that was a loud ass notification. I apologize. Here, let me close out of that. All right. Anyways, and it blew my fucking mind. And of course, out here in Las Vegas, another incident. A Latino boy was getting bullied, and that Latino boy's white best friend steps in to defend him. The white boy gets beat to death by like 8 or 9 people. And again, we're seeing this. There's a pattern of this shit going on, and I gave it about 30 to 35% chance that we see rioting. Let's pray that we don't, and we have a peaceful summer. It would be bad for the midterms if this occurred, right? You know, we don't want that, and also we don't want senseless violence and destruction of small businesses and whatnot. But yeah, this is a fucking problem, you guys. This is a big problem, and the short term solution is, you know, I hate to say it, but Scott Adams is like, well, just get the fuck away from these people. Just get the fuck away from them. Like you've seen he's pulling up stats. It's like they fucking hate us. They hate us, and these people are clearly liars. They will call Austin Metcalf a racist. They'll make up lies about him being a drug addict. They'll make up lies and publish these fake statements that were never made by the sheriff, by official law enforcement, elected officials, and just completely just tormenting this family. No, dude, I'm not about that shit, guys. I don't do witch hunts. I'm not about that. It's not a good look, man. And dude, like, and the people that are behaving like fucking, monsters outside the courthouse, it's like, dude, like you guys really think you're the good guys? They're saying like dig up the body and put a knife in it again. They're saying all kinds of crazy shit, man. Like we're venturing into like very dark territory. I mean, never mind. We're already there. We're already there. And I wish that like if I was a Magic American, I would try to be a leader in the Magic American community, and I would plead with my fellow people that this is not the direction that we should be going in. Like we need to stand with this family and we need to support this family getting real fucking justice. And real justice means Karmello Anthony being locked up in prison for the rest of his fucking life. Obviously, he's not going to get the death penalty because the crime occurred when he was a minor, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? But people like Karmello Anthony don't belong in society. I want the school to prison pipeline to be opened up again. I don't want to see another Diego Stoll situation. That white boy who got stomped on out here in Vegas, I don't want to see that ever again. I don't want to see another Austin Metcalf. I think that bad kids should be thrown in jail. They should be locked up. If they're showing signs of violent tendencies, the likes of which we've witnessed in the past year or two, that resulted in the death of children, yeah, I think we got to start putting kids away in prison. We need a massive overcorrection of this soft on crime woke bullshit, because it's not fucking working, man. And like I was talking to some parents and shit, and they're just like, "What the fuck did he bring a knife to school? Like what's going on here? Like what the fuck is happening? That this was even allowed to get to the point that it did." People are fucking scared, man. People are scared, and the remedy: school to prison pipeline. We need to separate the bad kids, keep them away from the good kids. Let the good kids, let them be kids, let them learn, let them do their prom, let them, ride their bicycles, let them do their little parties. Away from the violent kids. The violent kids need to be put away. When I was in high school, I was a troublemaker. I've been expelled before. I've been suspended. I don't even know how many times. And it wasn't for like violence or anything like that, or like threatening people, or like I was just a bad dude. I was a fucking rebel. I still am. Like I really haven't changed that much. Like I always believed in standing up to bullies, standing up to bad people, and calling them out to their faces and letting them know that they're fucking bitches. And I call teachers, fat, retarded, frothing slugs, and I would get suspended from school. But we're seeing now in the year of our Lord 2026, students getting away with fucking murdering kids, bullying them ruthlessly. I never bullied anybody. Maybe when I was in elementary school, and again, please forgive me, Lord. I did not know what I was doing. But like real bullies, like the comically evil bullies. And none of them get reprimanded for it. But I did, for my lawful speech, for calling out these fucking candy asses. And they were. And I was right. Those teachers ain't shit. Fuck the public education system. Look what they're doing. They're allowing these kids to get victimized. Makes me fucking sick, man. I'm gonna read some of these comments. In the future, as more diversity comes to America, the Chinese and Indians aren't going to be nice to the Magic Americans at all. Bro, it's going to be more than that. The only group that plays these games and caters to Magic Americans' racial narcissism is white people. Yeah, well, you should put white in quotations, if you know what I mean. 100 years ago, they were too afraid of whites to be this way. Wouldn't take much to make it that way again. When you look at the old news channels like TYT or other leftist news, they aren't covering this case. They are abandoning black causes. Yeah, probably. Yeah, because they know it's a fucking loser. It's a political loser. Like right now, if things keep trending in the way that they are, okay, let's say hypothetically, um, the largest demographic in the United States, at least, they're going to be the Latinxes. So it'll be like the Mexicans, the Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, it's a Colombians, etc., etc. That's going to be like a giant voting block. But if you were to fractionate that though, like Mexicans would lean right, Cubans would lean right, Venezuelans would lean right, and some of the Argentinians would lean right. And then the other ones would lean more left. That's a real possibility. Also, a lot of Latinos, they're working class, so they will remain more populist right or populist center. And what else? And yeah, I mean, but you'll see a lot of them going left when they become more overly educated. Yeah, like the DACA kids, a lot of them are obviously college educated. They have degrees and shit, and they're super far left. And I think we need to get rid of the DACA kids. The DACA kids need to go, but we can keep the working class folk. I think that'd be fine. Anti-immigration protests in Belfast right now. Yeah, I saw the photos. I saw the videos. Hopefully that continues. They got to take their country back, man. All Europeans need to be just saying enough. They're murdering the public intellectuals. They're murdering the artists. They're committing industrial scale grape. Where's the Me Too movement? Where are the feminists at? Fuck them. They're fake. Give the Magic Americans their own cities. Give them reparations and spread crack and fent all over the cities. Don't let them out. Disavow. Gayo is an icon of the rainbow American demographic. I guess, man. We should fill the Grand Canyon with Jesus Christ. Oh God. Disavow, you guys. Disavow. But I did read that I think we are seeing a spike in birth rates among the whites, which is fantastic. We need a lot more of that. And again, it's just like, look, like fuck the trends, fuck the economy, have a family, struggle a little bit. Who cares? That's my philosophy. Like, who gives a fuck? Just do what you got to do to survive, and just arm yourself with knowledge, and just keep pressing forward. Like, who gives a shit about all this other stuff? Mark Cernovich is right. It's like, yeah, like, quit waiting for like the right Goldilocks moment and just do what you want. Do what you want. Your enemies are. You should do the same. Oh boy. Let's go into some of the crazy responses. Anthony Brian Logan. It's quite a name. Here, let me the guy's been freaking the fuck out. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this. Let's see what he's saying about the verdict here, because the guy is completely fucking unhinged. I thought this was like a Trump guy. I thought he was like a Republican dude, but he's just fucking going crazy. Here, let's go ahead and play this. Turn this volume up.
Karmello Anthony has been found guilty of murder out there in Cullen County, Texas, after the 2025 track meet incident in which he stabbed Austin Metcalf. Now, straight away, I'm gonna say it. This was a gross miscarriage of justice. Gross miscarriage of justice. This was not murder. Whether you believe the stabbing was right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about what the law says. The law says that you must intentionally or knowingly cause someone's death. This refers to when you get up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm gonna go take this man's life. When you pull out a gun, you shoot him, you're trying to rob him, carjack him, something like that. That's a murder. Manslaughter is when you do something reckless that causes someone to lose their life, like playing with a gun, it goes off and then somebody gets shot. Neither of those things happen here. So it wasn't even manslaughter. It's not even like, oh, well, give him manslaughter. Nah, this was self-defense. This is not guilty. Self-defense says you must reasonably believe that you are at risk of great bodily harm, carjack him, something like that. That's a murder. Manslaughter is when you do something reckless that causes someone to lose their life.
Yeah, this wasn't recklessness, dude. First off, he claimed self-defense. That was like the entire defense of Karmello Anthony's actions, bro. That means he deliberately did it. He intentionally pulled out a knife and he plunged it into the heart of Austin Metcalf. If you want to claim self-defense, you have to admit to have done that. He needed to be in reasonable fear for his life, and he wasn't, because he was told to fuck off. He didn't want to leave. He antagonized and provoked the other students, the other athletes. He did this to himself. Again, if he was in fear for his life, he would have left. And he had opportunity to leave, and he never did. Karmello Anthony fled the scene of the crime. He discarded the murder weapon. And, and then he got caught, and on body cam, he admitted, he's like, I did it. So it's like, oh, it was reckless. Oh, it was an accident. No, it wasn't an accident, dude. So again, like, dude, Anthony Brian Logan is a fucking idiot who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Again, this is supposed to be like, ooh, my beast black or whatever. Again, like, dude, man, I want us all to get along. I want to put like differences behind us and, let's focus on like issues that matter. Like, let's fix education. Let's make sure we're not sacrificing the young to Israel. Let's make sure we protect free speech on the internet and elsewhere. Let's like make America great again. But how the fuck are you going to do that when you're just lying? When you're being a liar?
Like playing with a gun, it goes off and then somebody gets shot. Neither of those things happen here. So
yeah, no shit.
It wasn't even manslaughter. It's not even like, oh, well, give him manslaughter. Nah, this was self-defense. This is not guilty. Self-defense says you must reasonably believe that you are at risk of great bodily harm or death. Now, if you're 5'8", 130 pounds, here comes Austin Metcalf, 6 foot tall, 215 pounds, and it's his brother and maybe 2 more people. You feel like you're in danger, you're at risk. That's self-defense.
No, that is fucking wrong. That is so wrong. Okay, wow, what an idiot. First off, let's say I order a pizza. Now, I usually don't have people visiting me. I like to, when I'm at home, I want to be left alone. If somebody wants to come by, they got to let me know in advance. And let's say I forget that somebody's coming to my door and this guy's on my property technically, and then I blast the pizza person away, and then I'm like, oh well, I feared for my life. That's not a fucking excuse, dude. Or let's just say the mailman is dropping off mail or whatever, or someone is coming to sell me a fucking vacuum. I can't just start blasting people at my house because I'm in fear for my life. That's not how it works. Again, first off, what was Karmello Anthony in fear of exactly? He wasn't threatened with violence. He was told to leave. Nobody punched him. Nobody ganged up on him. He wasn't jumped, as some of these douchebags on Twitter are trying to suggest. He got lightly shoved, according to witness testimony. And by the way, this event was on video. None of what he is saying is accurate. By the way, it's on video. Shoving is shoving. Is that a stab worthy? Does that call for a stab-worthy action? No. People get into shoving contests all the time. People push each other all the time. Sometimes people get into bar fights and hit each other and slap each other. It doesn't result in somebody ending up in the hospital. It doesn't result in somebody pulling out a deadly weapon and using it. Those things happen all the time, and it is unreasonable. Like let's say I'm at a club and some girl slaps me. Okay, she committed a crime against me. My feelings might be hurt. I'll obviously recover. But just because she slaps me, that doesn't give me the right to pummel her until she's fucking blacked out or knocked out. Like we're both in a sane world, we'd both go to jail, but more than likely it would just be me, because that is an unreasonable response to something, so inconsequential as a slap, even though she did commit a crime. So just because you're shoved, really you're in fear for your life because you got shoved? So because you got shoved, that gives you the right to reach into your bag, pull out a knife, and plunge it into the heart of this young boy? That's not how any of this works. There are elements of self-defense, and they need to be met. Was the action that you committed proportional to the so-called threat? Okay, well, you got shoved, and then you stabbed them. Does that sound reasonable to anybody? No. Avoidance. Could this have been avoided? Yeah, he could have fucking left because he was not welcome there. They told him to leave over 15 times. But because of the Eric Julyification of America, it is a crime in the eyes of people like Anthony Brian Logan to disrespect these guys and tell them to fuck off and tell them that they're not wanted. And they're like, no, we're not going anywhere. Okay, well, look what you did. Look what you did. Let's continue.
Just like with Trayvon Martin, Zimmerman said, I was getting beat up too much by Trayvon Martin, so I had to pull my gun and shoot him, and he beat it. There's been countless cases like this, and it wouldn't matter the color. If it was 2 black kids attacking little white boy, and then he takes one of their life, oh well, because you can't go putting your hands on people, you can't go assaulting people. And
yeah, dude, George Zimmerman was a very short guy. He was kind of overweight, and the images that were used in the press of Trayvon Martin were inaccurate. Those were when he was like a young boy. Trayvon Martin was a tall athlete. He was really fucking big, and the images that they used of Trayvon Martin were years old, and yeah, he beat George Zimmerman's ass. George Zimmerman could not flee. George Zimmerman was on his back, and he tried to stop the attack, and he couldn't. He was beat up. He was bloodied. Trayvon Martin was bashing his head in, and I talked earlier about how young Diego Stoles got killed from a head injury. Same exact way, dude. George Zimmerman would have died. He would have died, and he had to use a firearm tragically, and then the whole situation sucks. And then he invokes this like it's the same thing. Austin Metcalf didn't attack Karmello Anthony. Nobody attacked him. Again, these are ghetto fairy tales. These are ghetto fairy tales. And again, this guy's supposed to be like a MAGA bro. He's supposed to be like a anti-wokester or whatever. He kind of dabbled a little bit in manosphere shit. And he's a fucking liar. Unbelievable. I don't know what it is about this case that just like made people crazy and just spew crazy lies. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I don't have to lie about like Kyle Rittenhouse or the Covington Catholic boys or just the MAGA base in general when we're smeared and maligned by people like Jesse Smollett. Like, I come out here and I speak the truth, as uncomfortable as it is.
And then claim to be the victim. I don't know where they do that at. I don't know what part of the country you guys are in, what part of the world you guys are in.
Whatever, dude. You're a fucking idiot. Yeah, and this fucking douchebag, this guy ended up blocking me because he goes on this tirade. And he's like calling out. Well, let me see what he's saying here. Let me see. Let me see, guys. I apologize. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's doing. He's lost his fucking, like, this doesn't make any sense. One family lost their son, the other family's son will be gone for decades. Yeah, all I see grift from the grifters trying to capitalize on the tragedy. Nasty work by the lot of you. Like you? Please stop saying it was an all-white jury. It was not. That's just as much of a lie. Okay, so he's kind of bringing truth here. Let me see if I can find that video. Because he wanted to make it. Let me see. 1 second. Yeah, dude, this guy. Well, let's see. What bullshit. Saw Page post this pic. Oh, here we go. This might be interesting here. Saw a Page post this picture and type, "We will never forget you, Austin. It's so fucking cringe, opportunistic, and dishonest. It's disgusting." So yeah, right here, what he's trying to do, he's trying to prevent people from highlighting violent crime, from evildoers like Karmello Anthony. So whatever. So if you're sympathetic towards Austin, you're fucking cringe and opportunistic. Okay, Major Tor or whatever your stupid name is. America will forget about this young man as soon as the next news cycle comes. Why don't you forget about it if it's so like cringe and stupid? Fucking idiot. Just like we're no longer discussing Charlie Kirk's killer. I don't know about you guys, but I see people talking about Charlie Kirk all the time. The Epstein clients, whatever. Yeah, that's boring. Nobody cares. Ending foreign aid, Arana Zarutska. I see her pop up all the time. Auditing Fort Knox, again, who cares? You're a fucking conspiratard. Ending income tax, the Vegas shooter, arresting Hillary, charging Fauci, going after the auto pen signatures, cutting half of the FBI, no new wars, Doge cuts, etc. People who didn't even donate to his family made this case or identity for their own political or race-based narratives. Yeah, maybe far leftists did this. But I don't know anybody who did. We, the American people, are selfish and forgetful as shit when media tells us to be. Again, like, I don't know why you're mad, bro. Like, what are you upset about, dude? It's your fucking problem, bro. Yeah, and again, this is supposed to be like, you're based black, sir. How? This guy's not based at all. Let's go to media really quick. I'm gonna see if I can find this fucking video where he's just freaking the fuck out. Look at this shit. He's like, dude, look at all. He's like constantly posting about Karmello Anthony. Let me see. Is this it?
Freedom talk till it's time to actually be that shit. I'm watching so many of y'all.
Oh yeah, this is what I responded to him, and I'm just like, dude, like, what the fuck are you on about, bro? Let's have a fucking debate, because I will undo you. It would be really easy to defeat this guy in a debate. Well, he ended up blocking me. So yeah, by the way, if you're on Twitter or wherever, haters, welcome to debate me. If you guys think that like Karmello Anthony is innocent or whatever, look at this guy. He's got Malcolm X in the background. Fuck Malcolm X. He's a bitch.
All in the Second Amendment space. Talk all of this cosplay shit, and I used to defend y'all. I used to, when people on the left would go, oh, you're cosplaying as a Second Amendment gun guy. You're cosplaying. And I used to be like, bro, this motherfucker trained. He got the stuff. He well dialed in on civics and all of that. But you know what? They were right about a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all aren't really living this freedom shit. And as soon as somebody challenges your notion about certain things, and when things get sticky, instead of you being objective, nuanced, and working through that shit while maintaining your standards of freedom and liberty, blackgunsmatter.shop, instead of doing that, right? You motherfuckers run to all and every of the most convenient excuses possible. Somebody tweeted at me a couple of days ago, so you want school people to have guns in school? You don't want them to be gun-free zones? You want teenagers to be armed in the school? And I said emphatically the fuck yes. I wanted to go back to how it was in the sense of, when there were shooting clubs, brought their rifles and racks, and there were women's or girls shooting clubs. Yeah, I want that.
Yeah, so a lot of this is kind of like a non-starter. He goes on this tirade for like, I don't know, 10 minutes is what I see on the timer up there. We're not gonna watch this whole thing, but this is kind of like the gist. Like this guy is basically calling out people who are upset about Karmello Anthony being armed with a deadly weapon and then using it. Again, like this guy wants to pretend that this is about the Second Amendment, I suppose. Or how if you're upset that this fucking idiot retard kid killed this innocent boy, that somehow if you're upset about it, that makes you like a grifter or something. Why? This was never about the knife necessarily. Karmello Anthony was never charged with possession of a deadly weapon. He wasn't charged with like trespassing or anything like that. It was just purely murder. Like he fucking murdered this kid and he claimed self-defense. And you know what? Reality suggested that wasn't the case. The jury suggested that wasn't the case. Again, this is on video. It's on body cam. There's like literally over a dozen witnesses that were immediately present when this horrific event took place. And he wants to make it about this stupid history lesson about we need to go back to how it was and blah, 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 blah. No, I don't think that's a good idea per se. I mean, first off, given how much the landscape has changed, I don't think we're ever going to go back to this in the picture here. But no, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And again, I feel like he just wants to be on Team Anthony because that's what he looks like. And there's just no other guys. There's no reason to defend Karmello Anthony. But the guy's on video doing it. He admitted to doing it. The defense did not meet the standard of self-defense. His claims, his statements did not meet the standard of self-defense. There were elements of self-defense that were missing. And if you're even missing just one of them, you're going to prison. And he is going to prison for 35 years. God willing, he does the full 35. Let me see. Let me read some of this stuff. Let me scroll up. Oh shit, we got the Air July Dick Rider in the house. Yo, what's up, Killer Chris G? Calling me a Jew? How dare you? Let me call up my Mossad handler. We'll deal with you for this insult. Infrastructure also means organization, accessible info, nicer laws for it. He literally stabbed him in the heart. Agreed. What the hell? I know, midget. What's up, midget? Thank you for joining. I appreciate you being here, Zombie Bomb. I have not seen you in some time. Sad not seeing Chronic as much. Yeah, I talked to Chronic today. If there was gonna be a riot stream, I would have joined Chronic and I wouldn't necessarily have done this. But yeah, I want to do a stream with Chronic. Hopefully we can do that sometime. Let's see, bro must not be on Instagram, lulz. I'm not really sure what that's in reference to. Pause. What did Gio just say about them files? We're not going there, guys. I don't. Again, like we'll circle back to the Epstein files when there's like, first off, I think Pizzagate is more important than the Epstein files. Again, all right, but the Epstein shit, it's mostly like a hoax. Let's just be real here. Instagram feeds people what they want to see, and racism is thick there. Yeah, I'm not on Instagram. I have an Instagram account, but I hardly post on there. How much water does that thing hold? I think this is over 1 gallon. Thanks, Joe, for being in the server so I can join the stream. Oh, shit. Hold on. Let's get Cheese in here. I apologize. Let me get my indispensable co-host, Cheese. I undeafened. Cheese, get in the chat. Get in the Discord. Here. I'm gonna get in. Oh, whoops, hold up. All right. I just messaged my co-host. Let's see. Cheese wants us to season the stream. Yeah, Cheese, get in here. Are we on ConsumeSins yet? I bought Lego Arkham at full price. Oh no, Brad Skag, what have you done? No, we'll do ConsumeSins. I fixed the shit in OBS. I've been paying for extra air conditioning. I said he deserved the sitting furniture. YouTube censored me again. I'm sorry, Ash Blackwind. The Epstein files legitimize Pizzagate. No, well, no, more like Pizzagate legitimizes the Epstein files. Well, actually, no, that might not be true. What people got to understand is like Epstein has been like operating for like decades, since like the 70s. You know, most people don't really understand that or appreciate that. Anyways, let me skip around to this. Let me see if we can catch this guy saying something unbelievably stupid.
Pretending like you fucking patriots and shit, or revolutionaries. The whites is acting like they patriots, and the blacks is acting like they revolutionaries. Ain't shot shit, ain't been shot at. Asking for permission the whole time. So yeah, I live in the area and was raised in the area where we was about that action. Inadvertently. You just becoming to understand that the Second Amendment is your ally. I was born in it. Molded by it. Bane reference. See, that's the problem. Instead
Cringe.
of y'all trying to link all types of Americans, rural, suburban.
Yo, what's up, man?
No, nothing much. What about you?
Nothing, dude. Just going over here. Let me see if I can stream this to you, but I don't know if I can get you audio. I never bothered to figure out how to get this working the way that it used to work. Let me see.
What a guy.
How do I preview this? Open preview scaling. What am I doing here? What am I doing? So what's your so have you been following it all, like the fallout of the Karmello Anthony verdict, his conviction of 35 years?
He didn't do nothing wrong.
He
That's
didn't
all I
do
know.
nothing.
I love the I saw some post about I can't believe like 3 or 4 black people testified in court or whatever. And it's like, yeah, court subpoenas are kind of no joke. You kind of have to do them or you're in big doo-doo. So like I'm trying to think of times that like witness testimony is voluntary, and that's kind of a rare thing. Usually if it's a court subpoena, you can't just go like, It's like, no, you're going to court. Sorry, bud. Doesn't matter if you're charged with the crime or if you're a witness of the crime. Probably gonna be a part of it. That's just nature of the beast.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
Here,
it's kind of weird for people to be like, well, they're black. It's like, okay, great. I guess all white people can't testify against white people, and every other thing on top of it.
Yeah, and what like people don't understand that there were a lot of like black students that were very close friends with Austin Metcalf, and they were crying on the stand, they were crying in the court, and they obviously testified on behalf of Austin and against the defendant, which is Karmello Anthony. And again, like this really wasn't about race, it was just one dumb kid being a bad kid. And who racialized it was the modern left, the Democratic Party, these BLM activist types, and like, dude, they're fucking nasty, bro. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it's gotten really, really nasty. Like, they didn't get their way, and now they're freaking out. I want to know if you're able to hear this by any chance. Let me play
it out.
Yeah.
Urban under this banner of the Second Amendment and this
Nothing.
liberty.
Okay, I'm gonna fix that right now. I think I have the solution.
The final one.
Something like that. All right.
Brag skag. That's pretty funny, honestly.
Let me read.
Yeah, I mean, usually jury duty, witnessing stuff, a lot of that, they kind of scare you a little bit into going. But it's, it depends on the time, but it's usually just a civil duty. It's like, this is how our legal system works.
Yeah, man. I would have loved to have been.
Oh, now I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, hold on. Can you guys hear me? Hold up. I'm gonna fix this right now. Can you hear me, Cheese? No. Fuck. I am not muted. All right, testing. Oh shit. Can you hear me now, Cheese?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What about now? Can you hear me?
No.
All right, well, the show goes on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't know if the stream can hear me.
Yeah, they can.
Maybe they can?
No, they can. They 100%
Okay.
can. Hold on
Okay.
1 second. I gotta turn off this speaker thing really quick because it's gonna loop. All right, can you guys hear me in the chat? Yeah, chat. Let me know if you guys hear an echo or anything like that. Cheese, speak really quick.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay.
Howdy,
Let's go
howdy.
ahead and test this out really quick. Let me know if you can hear the video now.
Freedom shit. You picking
Yep.
and choosing when you want to conveniently fucking cherry pick. And you doing it on your social media apps while you fill out for your fucking... Man, I barely got a driver's license. Get the fuck out my face. We are not the same. That's why I'm a leader in the movement. And you get in where you could fucking fit in.
Dude, how are you gonna be a fucking leader when you ain't got a driver's license, dog? Again, he just goes on like this. I don't know what any of this has to do with Karmello Anthony or Austin Metcalf. Again, it just feels like he's attacking people who support the conviction of Austin or of Karmello Anthony, because I guess if you rebuke the self-defense claim, that means you hate the Second Amendment or something. And again, this guy's like a thought leader. This douchebag without a driver's license. I guess he's like a sovereign citizen too. I don't know. He's like, oh, just do whatever you want. No, I don't want to live in a society like that. I kind of like the rules. I think they're necessary. No echo. Thank you so much, Zombie Bomb. I appreciate you, Mr. Brand Cereal. AI viewer. Oh, what the fuck? Oh man, I wish I had a mod to ban anybody advertising AI viewers. No. We're not doing that. Disgusting.
I mean, I'm a moderator, but
are you? Well, are you? It's on
we
Twitch.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. You should see it like on my actual screen. The screen here that you're viewing. All right. Well, anyways,
oh yeah, I see it. I mean, if you make my Twitch a mod, then
yeah,
you gotta pay me though.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah, we'll yeah. I'll give you like a little stipend. I'll send you. I'll send you video
chud
games.
bucks.
Yeah, chud bucks.
Chud bucks.
All right, so Jasmine Crockett, she's not going to be a politician at the end of the year. Thank God. She's unbelievably stupid. So she has something to say about the Austin Metcalf situation.
Awful. Wait a minute. Was it a switch? I don't know what he had. It was like it seemed like it was a multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army. Like with like with the little scissors and everything and whatever. So it was small. Well, I would have argued the size of it alone, you wouldn't even think it's a deadly weapon. And that's
forgot he had it in his bag.
If it was one of the little, like I don't know, like I do think. Well, that's why he went to his coach and was like, but I don't think I heard him that bad. Awful, of course.
Gosh, she's so fucking stupid. It's a fucking knife. Of course, it's a deadly weapon. Doesn't really matter how long the blade is. It would have been illegal if it was over, because I looked it up. I actually do research for the stream. In the state of Texas, if you're carrying a blade over 5.5 inches in a school, it was specifically for school. I don't know about elsewhere, but if you're carrying one of those very long 5.5 excess inches blade on the school campus, that's a crime. It was less than 5 inches. And again, he was not charged with the crime of possessing a deadly weapon. He was charged for murder, which he did commit. He is guilty. He was judged by a jury of his peers.
He punched him to death. That doesn't matter.
Yeah. Wait, who punched you to death?
Like Karmello could have punched.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like like the weapon is not necessary to what happened. It was the fact that he did it.
Yeah.
It's like he could have used a hammer, a plank of wood, a car. Doesn't
Yes.
matter. It was
Yeah.
the fact that he did it.
Correct.
And for them to go like, oh, it was a little knife or whatever. It's like, dare I bring up like what weapon was used during 9/11? Dare I even go there? It's like, we don't need a lot. You don't really need a lot to leverage somebody, and you don't really need a lot to end somebody's life. And
Yeah,
for them to go like, I'm presuming she's using little fingers to go like, oh, that's probably how big the knife was. It's like, yeah, it doesn't take a lot to disembowel somebody. It doesn't take a lot to make them bleed out.
correct. Yeah,
It's like you could poke somebody's eyes out. Like it, it's one of those things. It's like how trivial and how reductive do we have to get to where it's like, yes, if you want to hurt somebody, you can do so with very little means.
yeah.
Violence is violence.
What we're seeing here is an attempt to downplay the severity of the crime that was committed. They're trying to downplay the damage that was done, the harm that was done. This is really disgusting and unbecoming of a congresswoman. But again, she's of the ghetto variety, if you will, and this is the kind of behavior that she's known for. So I guess I shouldn't be that surprised for expecting much better from somebody who's a member of Congress in the United States government. But whatever. The accident claw nails. The only thing missing are her bastards from to disavow. God damn it, Ash Black. Well, you guys are gonna get me into trouble. Let me see. Do we have anything else on the Karmello Anthony thing? No, I don't believe so. I would like to peruse around Twitter, but there's so much like racism. And again, I'm not trying to be like a bitch, you guys, but like I don't want to get the stream in trouble because the N word is plastered all over the fucking screen. And yeah, people are saying really heinous shit. Emotions and tensions are high. Again, I think we're not going to get rioting, which is probably good. Man, did you expect rioting at all, Cheese?
Not really. I feel like this is a different kind of thing to where you're gonna obviously have the people protesting that are, in the community. But I think far and wide it's not the same. Because this person going to jail, it's not the same as a lot of the other BLM stuff. Police brutality and whatnot. Like as far as I can tell, he was treated really well.
Oh, like, more than well. They made like over $500,000. They moved into a mansion. They were buying Escalades and Dodge Challengers with a Scat Pack and Air Jordans, and he was living it up for about a year, a little more than a year, perhaps, since the original incident took place. And he was granted every courtesy imaginable. He was allowed to graduate. He was allowed to go to prom. Dude, like again, like I've been expelled from school and I've never hurt anybody physically. I hurt people's feelings. I called them bitches and fat and retarded and whatnot. I said they're frothing slugs, as I mentioned earlier in the stream. But like, I didn't do anything like this, and I wasn't allowed to like attend school or be anywhere near it or whatever. I mean, I did all the typical high school stuff, but like, if I would have like gotten suspended or expelled like during the week of prom or whatever, I wouldn't have been able to go. Yeah, like I was treated a lot worse than Karmello Anthony by my school district. And again, I didn't even do anything close to what he did. Like I've never brought a weapon to school. And all these fucking douchebags like Major Terror or whatever his stupid name, or Anthony Brian Logan, they're like, oh, well, you guys are fake MAGA. You guys are fake 2A supporters because you think that like it's weird that Karmello Anthony brought a knife into the school. Yeah, like when growing up in the early 2000s or like in the mid 2000s when I was in high school, like I knew people that I grew up with since we were in elementary school. And this girl, she ended up bringing like a fucking knife to school. Dude, they expelled her because she brought a knife to school. And that was it. And like I didn't see her again until I saw her like at work one time. She was working, I wasn't. Yeah, like usually like when you brought like a knife to school, like people freaked the fuck out. Like that was like the climate back then. And I imagine it's more like safe spacey now in the schools, but I don't know. They want to make it seem like this is like they're violating Karmello Anthony's freedom. How can you be a 2A supporter? Yeah, dude, like I build firearms. And you want to say like I'm not a 2A supporter. Like I don't even know how many guns I own. And I guess I'm a fake 2A guy. I'm a fake MAGA bro, I guess, or something.
Well, carrying a knife to school is not the same as stabbing somebody to death. I feel like those are two very different things. Like, I remember back in the day before a lot of the school shooting stuff happened, you just had people, you know, I've had like parents and whatnot. They're like, yeah, you used to have gun classes. I used to put my gun in the back of my truck and, you know, go to school or whatever, and it was no big deal. And then all of a sudden, a lot of, you know, guns at school have been stigmatized. And it's like, yeah, the problem isn't the gun going to school, it's what the gun was used for. And it's the same with the knife. Nobody's against bringing knives, you know, theoretically, nobody's against bringing knives to school. It's how you use them. It's just one of those things. It's like you can be pro carrying your knife, you know, in public or wherever, but it's like I'm against stabbing people. It's like I can hold both beliefs pretty consistently.
Yeah, but again, like he was not the legal question wasn't him possessing this thing. It was not really
exactly
the big
yeah.
issue.
That's the whole point. It's like it's not about the knife. It's not about how he carried it or how big it was or anything else like that. It's just he killed somebody. That should be it.
Yeah, man.
And
Like
it's
either
like,
way,
oh, they want to slap him on the wrist for like a knife charge on top of it all. It's like it's a little bitty fucking piece compared to the whole pile.
yeah. I guess that makes sense. And again, like, look, if I were to like deep down, I want to say like, yeah, I think it's cool if like a kid wants to like carry a pocket knife or whatever. But given what happened to Henry Novak and given the situation, I don't know if we need to be rethinking this policy or rethinking that philosophy. Either way you slice it, I feel like everybody loses. Like right now, the Magic Americans, in my opinion, seriously lost face. Like I just hate to say like how untrustworthy a large portion of the population is. Like a large portion of the population cannot be trusted to serve on a jury because they are very likely to let somebody like Karmello Anthony go merely for immutable characteristics. They can't be trusted to sit on a jury. And somebody that far gone and somebody that far like that crazy, I don't want to be around them. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like I live a very clean life. I live a very simple life, drama free, and I don't want like crazy people around me. Like if you're espousing, you know, nonsense like if I heard somebody like smearing Austin Metcalf and his family, like I wouldn't want to be around them. I don't want them in my life. Like I want nothing to do with people like that. And there's so many people that are just espousing the craziest conspiracy theories about this family, that just maligning and smearing them, and I want nothing to do with them, you know? Like I don't do drugs. Like I don't really want to be around drug addicts. I don't want fucking drugs in my house. I don't want it in my car. I don't want to be around it. You know, like if you think it's okay to discriminate and mistreat people of European stock, if you think it's okay to plunge a knife into the heart of a young boy like Austin Metcalf, I don't want to be around you. I don't want you in my fucking life. And I see all these activists saying the most heinous shit imaginable, being, you know, like they're like screaming at the top of their lungs. It's like they're having a religious experience, you know, like they're almost possessed by demons. And I don't want to be around them. I don't know what the solution to that is. Geez, what goes through your mind when you see the videos of these activists, these pro Karmello Anthony activists, screaming obscenity and just being cruel to the family and just getting in the faces of the Austin Metcalf supporters? Like, what goes through your mind?
It kind of makes me wonder, like, I understand like being like strong in your community. But I think at a certain point you just go, "Hey, we're not a perfect group. We got a couple people that, you know, like it should be a very quick we disavow the actions of these people." And instead it's like, "Oh, we'll just ignore it. Oh, it's not us. Blah blah blah. Vocal minority." Meh, meh. And it's like, how about you just go, crime is bad. Crime is crime, no matter who does it. Just not okay. I mean, I was going to pivot just a little bit. Stadio Dispatch said, I support jury nullification. Jury nullification is a weird thing because you just have to go, oh, I don't believe that's a crime. In this case, I don't know. Theoretically, there was a crime committed. There's evidence that the crime was committed. And murder is bad. I think most people agree with that. Most people that disagree with that are kind of insane.
Yeah, like
and
the Karmello
the only
Anthony
thing that they have
supporters.
going is like it's a self-defense case. But obviously, that is not even remotely stuck
No.
in the defense.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. Like jury nullification would work in, let's say, like a piracy trial. Like let's say Froggy is being brought up on charges of piracy, and there's like at least one guy in the jury who's like, "Yo, Froggy didn't do shit. He's allowed to pirate all the goy slop he wants because he doesn't believe that paying for it is, justified or whatever. He doesn't. He thinks it's a victimless crime." Then jury nullification there makes sense. But there are activists that are literally training right now as we speak. They are training to put people on juries and make sure that guys, and I guess girls in the future, like Karmello Anthony, get away with it. As so long as the composition is Magic American Killer, white victim. Because they don't believe that whites can be victims. They don't believe that whiteness is worthy of legally defending because of imagined slights that may have occurred in the past. And this is like racial retribution. Like this is what we're going up against. And I think it's going to get worse. And the remedy is really just, making allies where it's necessary. And outnumbering these people and beating them electorally, beating them in getting elected officials in the courts. So somebody like the judge, I think the judge handled the case very well. He was a no nonsense guy. He's like, let's keep this moving. Like, let's not waste any time because we know that this dude is guilty. And and that's what we need. I mean, it's a speedy trial. It was a fair trial. They made their case and it sucked and it fell apart. And that's what we need. But if you get like, if we're asleep at the wheel, we're going to get activist judges who are going to be extremely favorable to people like Carmelo Anthony. And we can't have that, guys. So like we have to get politically active. As lame as that sounds, the midterms are here. And you know what? Like, dude, we can't afford to sit out the midterms and not help the president and not help the stupid Republicans. I know they're stupid, you guys. I'm not. It's not. I'm not like blind to that fact that a lot of these conservatives are just completely worthless. But the alternative is people like Jasmine Crockett, occupying every aspect of government, from school boards, from aldermans, from sheriff's offices, justices, etc., etc. Like we just can't afford it, man. We can't afford it, or we're gonna get more Austin Metcalfs and more Carmelo Anthonys, but the Carmelo Anthonys will be on the winning side, and we're gonna be on the shit side. And I don't know about you guys, but I would rather win. Let's see. Geo IQ test. What is okay? Morse code. I'm not gonna do your math problem. How dare you?
What? It's 28. Come on.
I'm not, dude. You can't placate the chat when they are challenging you like this, cheese. It's unacceptable.
It's an IQ test. If you deny it, then you're like, I'm too stupid to do it.
I'm not doing it. I'm not your fucking monkey. Look, $10 super chat and I'll do your fucking test.
And I'll be your monkey.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, we got Turgeon here. Turge, are you gonna come in here and complain about the state of Israel, which is our greatest ally, or what?
No.
What's up, bro?
Israel. They're great. Mossad's my greatest ally.
That's right. You better. That's right. You better fucking bend the knee. What's up, man? What are you up to?
Nah, I just want to come in and say, like, no, I mean, with the whole jury nullification thing, it's a very, like, fine line. Like, for example, like, you're in the state of California, right? And I'll use California as an example because it's a terrible state. And you get charged with a gun crime. Well, you defended yourself from a criminal. If I was on that jury and some rogue prosecutor was like, yeah, we're going to charge this guy because he was carrying a firearm illegally, which goes against the Second Amendment anyways, but I digress. In that case, I would want to be on that jury because I'd be like, oh, yeah, no, that guy's freaking innocent. That law is unjust. Jury nullification. Boom. Let the man be free.
Well, the thing with California, a lot of people have the wrong idea about like how woke California is. California is actually relatively like a free state in regards to self-defense. Their self-defense is pretty robust. They wouldn't be denied that. Granted, they might, try to throw additional charges. Like they'll let them go on, like, let's say they killed somebody in the pursuit of self-defense. And they'll get away with that, but then it's like, okay, well, you're looking at 2 years for possessing a firearm that may have been illegal, or they did something to it that modified it and it violated some bullshit law. And then jury nullification would make sense in that instance. But usually, California is not like the worst in regards to self-defense. I think New York is pretty bad. I think they have you have a duty to retreat, which again doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
That's pretty awesome, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, so
I think maybe DC might have it worse because you can't carry in DC because federal city.
Yeah, that's well, we're not gonna get into that, but yeah, man, that's pretty much everything on the Karmello Anthony. Oh, have you been following Turge? Because you know some of these people. Have you been following any like crazy right wing influencer who's saying like the most obscene, retarded bullshit regarding the Karmello Anthony case? Like I mentioned.
I have not.
Oh, okay.
Recently, I've been mainly just following a lot of the Maricopa County, emphasis on the RICO part of Maricopa.
Yeah.
With the whole election coming up, a lot of back and forth between the recorder's office and the county board of supervisors, and it's getting spicy. I'll say that much.
Yeah. Well, guys, this is it. We really don't have anything to follow anymore regarding the Karmello Anthony thing. I guess in 15 to 17 years, this idiot is going to apply to, he's going to try to get paroled out. But yeah, and again, I hate to make this political, but I mean, this is why we need to vote and ensure that like base Republicans or even like lukewarm basic bitch Republicans remain in office, because let's pretend that like Governor Abbott was not Governor Abbott and it was somebody else, like I don't know, Tallarico was a governor. Tallarico could pardon him and get him out of prison right away. And do we want that? I mean, this is a very real possibility. We already know that the modern left is like incapable of holding their own accountable for violent crimes. And when their own is occupying a government position, like let's say a sheriff's office or like a court or like a justice seat or even the governorship, like they can save them, bail them out. And once that happens, it's like, dude, people are going to start looking at street justice a little differently, if you know what I mean. YouTube does that to me a lot. Oh yeah, you guys are getting censored. I have no idea why you guys get censored. I don't know what you're posting that gets censored. It doesn't show me. Or if there is a way to see, like I'm not seeing it. You know what I mean? Holy shit. I spent over an hour, or we spent over an hour talking about Karmello Anthony. Well, the show must go on. Let's just go through these really quickly. So Donald Trump's crackdown on H-1B visa abuse sends Dallas home prices way down. So in the great state of Texas, where Karmello Anthony got his shit pushed in by the judge in the Austin Metcalf case, they're dealing. Trump is dealing with the H-1B visa bros and getting rid of them, which I think is excellent. So are you guys looking forward to affordable housing now that these H-1B visa bros are getting the boot?
I would love it if the housing Maricopa County would go down, and in Arizona in general, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Let's see. This will make people hate India. Yeah, this is the Sour Patch Mom. American Girl says, this is why foreigners are the reason why Americans can't buy homes. Yeah, people want to like blame like BlackRock or whatever, or all these like big corporations like buying in. They're like, guys, it's the millionaires and the billionaires. I'm like, no, this is very simple supply and demand. You flood a country with 20, 30 million fucking people in the span of 4 years. Yeah, no shit. Housing inventory is going to be very scarce. The Trump administration also directed the Department of Housing and Urban Development to bar non-permanent residents, including H-1B visa holders, from accessing FHA-insured mortgages starting May 25th, 2025. Dude, that's fucking insane. That the fact that this was even a thing, like, unbelievable. Unbelievable. According to the data from John Burns Research and Consulting, the share of FHA loan volume issued to non-permanent residents fell from 6% in April to less than 1% by June, and to virtually zero by late summer. Fucking base. God, dude, thank God we got Trump into office. In 2024 happened the way that it did. Yeah, like this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable, man. Look at this map. Americans never vote for this.
I will say though, like in certain markets like Phoenix, though, BlackRock did come in and buy a lot of the homes. And
nah, dude, that's cope. That's fucking cope. That's fucking cope. Like no, they're not buying enough to make a difference. This is the problem right here. Look at this. They're like
You want to know what the
locusts.
difference is? The difference is when they resell it, it bumps up the median price for the area.
Yeah, you know,
So-
BlackRock probably actually fixes the problems with those homes. They probably do the upkeep and they probably do it right, you know? And I would prefer that than flooding the country with tens of millions of these fucking people. I mean, look what's happening, dude. They're destroying the country, bro.
No, I know.
All this Blackhawk shit, all this fucking Blackhawk shit's a fucking cook. All these conspiratards, dude. I'm just letting you guys know right now. All those conspiratards are fucking morons. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Luke Radowski's a fucking idiot. Elijah Schaefer's a cuck and a creep. Nick Fuentes is full of shit. Like all these people suck and they're liars. Like this is the problem right here. Look at this. Look at this, man. Ugh. It's like fucking a zombie invasion, dude. What the fuck are we gonna do about this? Got Trump 2028. Let me see. I don't get why we have any of them in Texas. Like, what the fuck for? Why would they feel welcome? Zombie Ball, I have no idea. I hope this is legit. It is legit. Yeah, like there are like H1B subreddits and shit, and everybody's like, yeah, man, like my girlfriend or my fiance or whatever, like they got denied you know, they got denied like a certain visa for someone that's like related to like an H1B visa holder. People are saying that they're struggling to get their H1B visa status. You know, they're not able to maintain it. So it is happening. So not just anecdotally, but again, this is you know the New York Post. They're very trustworthy New York Post. And like Zombie Bomb mentioned, like I don't know why this happened. Like why do we have to import so many of these people? Like I was talking with somebody and they're just like, oh, we just don't have the knowledge here to staff these tech companies. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like all my life, people who like went into IT work, like they always struggled to find like a good job or a good career. And you would have to go to like New York or Illinois or Texas or California to really make real money. And now, you know, it's kind of diversified, you know, but even then it's like, dude, like the jobs are out there, but for whatever reason, these big tech corpos feel the need to import these H1B visa bros. And it's like, why? We have like an ample supply of workers here that are credentialed and background checked and knowledgeable and educated, but for whatever reason we need to import these H1B visa bros, and they're creating like their like entire like mini India type cities. Like it's fucking crazy. Like no, dude, this needs to stop, man. This needs to stop.
I will say one reason though that I've seen a couple of companies import their own people is like, for example, the semiconductor plant out here. That company hired a lot of their people come out to start up the plant, and then they'll switch over to more of an American workforce, but they still have the managers and the people that are up in the company that are going to be from Thailand, and they'll have their H1B1 or whatever the visa that they have for that. So you'll still have that to deal with at least.
Let's see, calling people conspiracy cucks for that corp while the moon landing theory is for real is insane. No, I think, well, first off, we're not gonna get into the moon landing thing yet, but like here's the deal, like people like Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes and shit, like for whatever reason, Megyn Kelly like completely did a 180 on pretty much everything that she's been saying for like over a decade about Islamic extremism and immigration. She's like, I was only made to feel this way because of the Jews. It's the Jews. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? And again, like guys, like if you want to ruin your life, you can go down that path. But again, like hating this group of people, it's not wise. And I really do believe like that's what they want. Like they want you to hate them, because if you hate them and you abuse them and you target them and blame all your problems on them, that gives them victimhood status. That gives them all the ammunition that they need to continue down the path that they're on. And again, like if you want to defeat your enemies, specifically the Jews, again, like you can't play their game. You can't hate people that you don't know. Fucking Christ. Hold on, oh my god, this is such a loud, obnoxious notification. Anyways, like you can't like attack those people because they need you to attack them. It legitimizes, you know, their subversiveness. Also, like, again, they claim that they're like subversive and they're controlling people's minds and doing all this wicked shit. Okay, well, quit watching the porn. Cancel your Netflix, cancel your Hulu, your HBO, your Amazon. Like, it's not hard. You need to walk away, and I think a lot of people are doing that. They're walking away from this, and you need to live a good life, a clean life. And those conspiracy cucks, none of those people are offering anybody a tangible solution to the problems that they profess. Their solution is for you to give them money. It is for them to extract wealth from grassroots movement and to fleece their viewers. That's all they care about. They're not interested in solving the Jew problem. They just want your money, and they want to perpetually complain about them endlessly. They don't want solutions either. What reason would there be to watch Candace Owens or Megyn Kelly or Tucker Carlson or any of these other goofballs if people move on from their hysteria and their fucking hatred and animus towards Jewish people? And like, I'm just letting everybody know right now, like, I legitimately do not hate those people. I don't hate anybody. I don't profess or promote hatred. And I don't want to do conspiracy theories. And you know what? I do genuinely believe that the moon landing was fake. Now more than ever, I do believe that it was fake. The Jews are smart. They create a win scenario no matter how you go about reacting to them. Well, they're again, like, it's kind of like the fuck that scared me, Spencer. Why is this so fucking loud? God damn it. Now I'm on camera getting all scared. Fuck. All right, that's it. Hold up.
Watch out. There's a big man, a little man with a big nose behind you, Gio. Watch out.
I get, look, hold up. I just got a message from my Mossad handler. That's why I'm so jumpy. My Mossad handler's like just rubbing his hands and nodding in agreement to what I am saying.
Did you like my message, by the way?
Gio, give Gio your money instead. Yeah, well, look, first off, let me just say this. Like, I live my life honestly. I sell goods and services, okay? I provide value, artistic value. I love my little community. And like, I don't, like, if you guys can't afford to fucking support me, that's fine. I don't, like, but any support is obviously much loved and appreciated.
That goes to beer money next time I'm up in Vegas.
Yeah, but dude, this thing scared me so much. I fucking lost my train of thought. Hold on 1 second. Here, speak again, guys.
You were complaining about the Jews.
No, I'm not complaining about the Jews. I'm complaining about the people complaining about the Jews. Yeah, they again, like, they're just misleading you, and they're lying. Like, again, like Nick Fuentes, for example. Like, I think he's unbelievably hilarious, but there's two versions of Nick. There's like podcast Nick, and then there's like the America First Show Nick, and both of them are like completely different. And then of course he's saying a bunch of crazy shit on Twitter, and none of it is like comprehensible. And again, like, these people, like, here's the deal, you guys. Like, they're all jumping on the PDF file, Epstein file bandwagon, and all especially the libertarian douchebags. But none of them had shit to say when Eliza Blue and Liberty Lockdown were talking about an adult man having sex with a fucking minor, and then like The Village or whatever getting together and talking about how that's going to be facilitated. Like, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about Ollie Alexander, the sex pest, and the degenerate creep, engaging in very nasty criminal behavior. And again, like, this dude was like charged and convicted, I believe. I could be wrong. Somebody can look that up for me. What about Elijah Schaffer? That guy's been credibly accused of doing some of the most insane, heinous, disgusting shit. And all these people want to do is like counter signal anybody who wants to do anything positive in the real world. And they want to counter signal and just like fleece, they want to counter signal people who actually do things. Okay, we got a $2 super chat. Pack your ears, good little 60-year-old. What? I don't even know what that means. Yeah, I lowered the volume on my. Okay,
I scared him.
I lowered it. Chronic and Gio are going to have an interesting conversation later if it happens. Yeah, no, I actually look forward to talking to Undead Chronic and talking to his fans and stuff. Like, first of all, I like Chronic a lot. I got nothing but mad love and respect for all the greenskins out there. I myself am a greenskin. And yeah, I think it's important to, move forward in like in a positive direction and like just be smart about this shit. Like I'll give you guys kind of like a preview of what we might get into. Andrew Wilson was going to debate Richard Spencer. It's not a secret that I do not like Richard Spencer. I think he's a cop. I think he's a Fed. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But the dude is sus. I don't know how he makes his money. As far as I'm concerned, he's just a talentless douchebag who can't, with no real world skills, but somehow like he's able to be a part of these big events and get all these speaking engagements, and he's tied to a lot of. Was he at Charlottesville? Was he at Charlottesville, by the way? Was he at any event that was
Probably.
funded by the Southern Poverty Law Center?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, there you go, you guys. But he was gonna have a debate with Andrew Wilson, and I read this post, but you know what? Fuck it. Let's dive into this, you guys. We're gonna do this right now because I thought it was really, really good and really, really interesting. And you know what? I wanted to see this debate, but he decided to attack Andrew Wilson and his family and mock a child that belonged to the mom, and I think it was both their kid, and the kid passed away, and he was like insinuating that, like, I don't know, Andrew Wilson and his wife were responsible for the death of his kid. Like, I don't know, man. Like, fuck Richard Spencer. Like, the guy's a piece of shit, and he's a pussy. Like they talked about this is how the debate's gonna go, and then he turned into a total bitch when the live stream occurred. It's like, dude, you guys agreed to the rules, and now you're going back on the rules. You don't do that no matter how vehemently you disagree with somebody. Like, again, like I've been a part of, I don't even know how many debates with like the moon landing bros, with members of the law tube, and we had rules, and you know what, we all obeyed them for the most part. There's no disrespect there. Granted, I was disrespected, but yeah, let's look up Richard Spencer really quick. Let me see if we can find that, because he issued out his problem with the manosphere. So it was pretty interesting. Maybe he blocked me. It wouldn't surprise me if he blocked me.
Why are you so disrespected?
Cause I'm a fucking badass. And I just don't give a fuck. Oh, here he is, Richard Spencer with this stupid flag, and I guess he didn't block me, so I guess kudos to him. Let me see. I'm so committed to finding this now. God damn it. No. Because he issued out his points. You know what? Hold up 1 second. I am going to look for it myself. Yeah, and he said some really interesting things. He thinks like whatchamacallit? Like the red pill manosphere stuff is kind of like a communistic movement. I don't want to mischaracterize it. I apologize, but let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Give me my $2 back. Wait, what? Chronic Jew gonna have blah blah blah. But Andrew Wilson is a cuck. I don't think he's a cuck. I don't believe he's a cuck. Like, there's plenty of things to goof on Andrew Wilson about, but that is not one of them. Like, when you couldn't open that jar, it was pretty funny. It's big L. Let me see. I'm gonna type in Richard Spencer. Oh, what? Why can't I see my posts? Fuck, man. Sucks.
Give me money. Give me money.
I did notice that that some accounts are actually going through and unfollowing right before the election here. So I don't know if that's it or you got blocked or something.
No, I didn't get blocked. Dude, I don't know why, but like my fucking comments keep being deleted, and it's really annoying.
Oh,
goddamn! I've been posting.
You upset Daddy Elon?
No, I guess.
I think Twitter's been bugged recently.
Either that or I think some people have the ability to delete posts in their thread. That could be it too.
No, I don't believe that happened.
Because I know some people turn on where it's like only followers or someone you follow can reply.
Maybe it was 304. I posted it in the 304 section. Fuck, I didn't. God damn it, man. It was such a good post. Or it was an interesting post that he made, and I really, really, really wanted to respond to it myself. Oh my god. God damn it.
Killing me, Smalls. Killing me.
Shut up, bitch. All right, let's go back to Richard Spencer's page. Let me see if I can find it. I'm so committed to finding it. Let me type in resentment. No, none of this is it. Latest. I don't know why I can't find it. I apologize, everybody. But yeah, like, damn it, man. Why the fuck did I not save it? Hold on, let me look at my bookmarks again. No, I didn't bookmark it either. Fuck, dude, I'm retarded. I should have saved it.
Gotta be honest here.
You're not allowed to agree with me.
I'm kind of retarded.
Shut up, bitch.
I don't have my Alex Jones soundboard, so you're lucky.
Yeah, you better not fucking play that. I'm kicking you off the stream.
Hello, chat. I'm gonna keep you guys entertained while
yeah, please entertain the chat. Say something funny.
So what do you guys think about Gio's inability to find his stuff on Twitter, guys? It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. He's very
How about everybody share your bedtime routines? Everybody share them.
Oh no.
No, shut up.
You don't want that.
No, we do want that. It's called chat engagement. Let's see. We got a little fart emoji.
Why don't you lead with your routine there, Cheese? How about that?
My routine? Okay. I think to myself, man, it's time to get ready for bed. And then I brush my teeth. I floss them. I put my retainer in. I fart around on my phone for a little bit. And then I just go to sleep. That's my routine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I make sure my doors are locked. That's a big one.
You don't want to let people in?
I kind of like feeling like a little guard of my castle. So I go around and I check all the locks, make sure there's no monsters under the bed, and then
All right, I found it.
Oh, did you?
Whew.
I drink a flask of bleach before bed.
Oh, dude, same.
All right.
Based.
Are you guys ready
How big
to
of a
hear?
flask?
Here, let's go ahead because we're gonna do a deep dive on this, and I think I sent this to Chronic, and I'm like, yo, what do you think of this? And yeah, I was genuinely curious what he would say. You guys are more than welcome to send it to him as well. So some thoughts. I'm gonna post my critique of the Manosphere in the next few days, but long story short, fertility and marriage have gone up and down throughout history due to economic and technological changes, medical advances, and war. Feminism is downstream or a lagging indicator of material conditions. The almost universal monogamous society of 1950s and 60s America was an aberration, not anywhere close to being the norm across world history. Men who are more intelligent or richer or more brave, bold, aggressive, or reckless have outbred their contemporaries throughout world history. It's probably true. Again, with the notable exception of maybe 20 years in mid-century when America had a brief period of almost universal monogamy. This fits the breeding pattern of aggressive male completion among mammals and even more so the breed then die ethos of insects. The manosphere, he put that in quote, as is currently constituted, is a resentful socialist movement of low-status men. They feel entitled to aboriginal, illusory, universal monogamy. Not to mention a steady job and wife. Marxists would make recourse to labor strikes to get what they want. The Manosphere claims that they are traditional, which they most certainly are not. Yeah. So again, like I don't claim to be a member of the Manosphere or like a red pill content creator, but like there's obviously some overlap, and I am mostly entirely sympathetic towards men and young boys. Like, look, is there an epidemic or an issue of a lot of men that are low status in society? Yeah, absolutely. Because of how people voted to replace, let's talk about men at the very least in the West. So in Europe and North America, more specifically Canada and the United States. So these guys are being displaced and replaced. They're being discriminated against by big corporations, by the government. So they're like, well, we're going to prioritize the BIPOC demographic versus white guys. So we have that problem. So they're being discriminated against in school attendance. Again, we had like a massive Supreme Court decision based off discrimination. So it's not like they're low status or resentful for no reason. A lot of these guys are being fucked in the ass by contemporary society. And yeah, they're clicking up online. They're talking about challenging the family courts and whatnot. And that's what I would like to see. I would like to see, men and young boys in general becoming like a unified voting bloc that would consist of working class or productive class members and I guess lower class men. So they're not getting raked over the coals in the family court. So they're not being discriminated against. So they can have a job, so they can get an education and be seen as attractive and intelligent to a prospective mate. So again, like, there is an element of resentment among the red pill manosphere stuff, and maybe some of it is unfounded, but a lot of it isn't. Like that's the thing with the manosphere and the red pill. It's like they have legitimate grievances. And we were denied this debate because Richard Spencer is a fucking queen. A total flamboyant fruitcake. I wish I could use more colorful words. It's Pride Month, so I'm trying to be respectful. On the other hand, I'm ambivalent about feminism. Doesn't surprise me. To the degree that it represents choosiness among women, only the strong get through and thus have a future. Perhaps feminism is Mother Nature's response to the dysgenic breeding patterns that people like Andrew Wilson want to universalize. It's a way of breeding higher types or at least reducing lower types. As for the Wilsons, I think I made myself clear. They are a contemptible and embarrassing pair. That's very funny coming from a fucking fat, disgusting creep like Richard Spencer, who's on camera, by the way, getting slapped around, getting punched in the face, and he does nothing. He wants to call people weak and dysgenic and talk all this shit. Like, dude, you're a fucking pussy. You're up there with like Destiny, bro. You're up there with Destiny.
jeez.
You got fucking outplayed in public and you didn't do
Holy
shit.
shit, Gio, keep going. You're
Andrew
roasting
is
his
a
ass.
weakling. His
Richard
wife
Spencer,
is an
you better be
obnoxious.
listening, all right? Gio's
so.
roasting your fucking ass.
I'm gonna send this to Destiny too.
He blocked
send
me.
it to
Destiny
both of
does
them.
not like me. His wife is an obnoxious slut and probably deranged. No polite person would bring up their chaotic family unprompted. Again, I don't really know what this is about, but since they go on lecturing people about tradition and Christianity, they make it fair game. In a word, yikes. That's pretty rainbow coded there. As for the debate, I asked for 10 minutes to make an opening statement. I obviously would have given Wilson the same in return. Yeah, well, that's not the point. Like, you guys agreed to like a 5-minute opening each, and then you just decided to change that while you guys were live. It's kind of unfair. I need 5 minutes to clear my throat and expect a productive conversation and back and forth. I don't know. Like, a part of me thinks Wilson should have just bit the bullet, but they have it set up the way that they have it set up, and if he agreed to it, you should just live by it. A similar thing occurred when Rebel Wilson, I'm not really familiar with. Oh, that's a Rad Fam Hitler, I guess. She demanded that RFH turn on her video, which she was at the time in no position to do and had expressed as much. She then quit in the same manner that Andrew did. My sense is that this pair wants to turn technicalities into debate victories. No one's buying it. Well, I don't know. If you guys agree to turn on your cameras, I don't know anything about that. But yeah, Richard Spencer sucks. It's just really weird when these like effeminate men who don't know how to do anything try to like, browbeat dudes like Andrew Wilson. And again, like, I know Andrew Wilson is not without sin or without any sort of legitimate criticisms. Like when he was debating that feminist on the whatever podcast and he lost his cool, I think that was a massive L, man. Like, she got under his skin and he chimped out, and that was pretty contemptible on his part. If I was advising him, I'd be like, dude, don't do that. It's not a good idea.
I mean, also doesn't it be that the whatever podcast literally just platforms e-girls to boost their OnlyFans?
Yeah. Well, the girl that he was debating was not an OnlyFans model. She was like a intellectual. She's trying to be like a female Destiny, I believe. But yeah, like
at least you guys didn't get to meet Destiny. That was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was at Amfest, and he was doing he was like the Unfuck America tour or whatever the fuck he was doing. And,
the Unfuck America tour. That's what he was doing. And you had the best teeth in Britain, Killer Chris J. The way that you stay white on the inside as well as the outside. A lot of people are going to have to face the wall before this is over. For no reason, maybe. They should be like me and just date Latinas. No.
Latinas are great, man.
Didn't Spencer get exposed for being a bitch? Yeah, he's been exposed for being a bitch many, many times. That's pretty funny. It's weird how he lets his wife talk shit online and defends her having babies with dirtbags. Look, I don't know Rachel Wilson's like background with the previous dudes that she's been married with or had children with. I don't know. And a lot of the people that are attacking the Wilsons, like the Richard Spencer, they're just contemptible. And they're liars, so I don't want to take their word for it. I also have like a personal rule, like I don't want to comment or talk about people's kids because I think that's fucking lame, and I don't want to be, a part of that. And as far as I'm concerned, like I'll say this about Andrew Wilson and him like stepping up and being a stepdad. Again, it's like something that like is constantly repeated within like the red pill space in the manosphere. It's like we lament the fact that there is like an army of young boys who are growing up without a father in the household, and they're not getting that masculine energy. They're not getting that masculine element of parenting, and they're growing up to be like little savages, and they're growing up to get into trouble. They're growing up without that fatherly wisdom to help guide them through life. And if somebody wants to step up and prevent and love these kids who are innocent, like I think that's perfectly fine. And again, like I don't know if it's for me. I don't think it's something that I would do. I don't promote it or disincentivize it, but like, look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Like, if you want to be hated and not have any friends, like in the real world, and have people like just like look at you like you're the worst, like thing in the world, you can go ahead and like attack people's mixed families and make comments about single moms and shit, but you're gonna lose friends very, very quickly, because the chances are that a lot of people with mixed families, and people who grew up in those types of households that may have been broken or may have been split up or whatever, and you're gonna be resented because you're attacking people's life situation that you don't necessarily understand. And that's not to say that like I don't, like it's not a mystery to me as to why a lot of these, let's say, these women with a past get mocked online. Like it's not a mystery to me. Like I 100% get it. Like we've seen the TikToks, we've seen the cringe posts on Reddit. Like we know that a lot of them want to, maybe not a lot, but some of them want to use men and take advantage of innocent men. And there's a part of us that want to protect guys from getting into a relationship with a woman with a lot of baggage, for lack of better words. But just needlessly attacking them when you don't really know them is kind of a fucking lame thing to do. And I saw this video from Nick Fuentes, and we'll try to watch the whole thing. I'll try to speed it up. But like I 100% agree with this. Like this is what I would like to see more of. Like I like the funniness and the humor of Nick, but I would like to see more of this Nick and just have him be a little bit more consistent. That would be great. Let's go ahead and
Andrew
watch
sucks
this.
and you know it. Transcended love perhaps, but real masculinity shouldn't be conflated with being a cuck raising cuckoo children.
Yeah, you're just wrong about that. That's just a LARP. Sorry, that's just a LARP. When you say things like that. Conflated with being a cuck. It's not about being a cuck. It's about then this happens in people's lives. Two people find each other. It's never under ideal circumstances. I think anybody would grow up and they want to marry their high school sweetheart. Everybody wants to grow up and have a glamorous, wonderful, beautiful life where nothing bad ever happens. And you marry your first love and you have lots of kids and you have a picture perfect life. But that's not always how life goes. And sometimes for one reason or another, people get older and they find people and they break apart, or they don't find somebody and they grow older. And look, what happens is that people, for whatever reason, will fall in love with each other. There'll be kids from a previous relationship for one reason or another. Sometimes it's a widow. Sometimes the husband dies under tragic circumstances. It's not always the case that a woman is just sleeping around. Sometimes there's legitimate circumstances. There's domestic abuse. These things do happen. And then you might find a guy who, let's face it, the guy's getting older, can't find a wife, finds a nice enough, decent woman. She's got kids. And yeah, it actually does take a lot of integrity. And it does take a lot of self-assuredness and I think piety to step in and have love for those children. And
oh, what the fuck? God damn it. No.
Yes.
Dude,
She
what?
has been canceled.
Dude, they're after me, guys. The Richard Spencer's people, the Nazis are targeting me, I guess.
You were talking too much, Gio.
I guess.
What else is new, though?
No.
And sometimes for one reason or another, people get older and sometimes it's a widow. Sometimes the
Oh,
husband
here
dies.
we go.
That's not always how life goes. And sometimes, for one reason or another, people get older and they find people and they break apart, or they don't find somebody and they grow older. And look, what happens is that people, for whatever reason, will fall in love with each other. There'll be kids from a previous relationship for one reason or another. Sometimes it's a widow. Sometimes the husband dies under tragic circumstances. It's not always the case that a woman is just sleeping around. Sometimes there's legitimate circumstances. There's domestic abuse. These things do happen. And then you might find a guy who, you know, let's face it, the guy's getting older, can't find a wife, finds a nice enough, decent woman. She's got kids. And yeah, it actually does take a lot of integrity, and it does take a lot of self-assuredness, and I think piety, to step in and have love for those children and
What in the fucking world is going on with
not
Twitter?
resent them. Because you can be mad that your
All right, we're gonna turn on
situation is
quality.
not ideal. You can be mad that you didn't have the picture perfect life, which I think all would agree is ideal. I think anybody would agree the ideal is that you fall in love with your wife. You know, you're both virgins, you have kids, they're your biological kids. I think
Well, guys, Twitter is just broken. But I think
that
we
is the
get
way
the
anybody
gist.
would want their life to go, but that's not always how it happens.
Or maybe it's going too fast. Fuck Elon Musk.
That's not
I
always
fucking
how it
pay for
happens.
this shit too. Well, I don't know. What do you think, Cheese? Is Nick Fuentes out of line or what? Or is he making
think-
good points?
I mean, there's this kind of a part of me that goes, which of these huge monolithic social issues we're having can just be a quick little wave of the wand and it's fixed? I think some things are too embedded, to where it's just like, oh, like with the manosphere stuff. I really, really, really do not like what a lot of the manosphere stuff preaches. But at the same time, on the other end of the spectrum, I understand why it's gotten there. But kind of to Richard Spencer's point, I do believe a lot of it is jaded and, other, like, there are other factors that I think cause somebody to look at dating and look at women that way. Like, for example, my biggest criticism of Chronic is the no hymen, no diamond rule. But then he would have no problem sleeping with other women and potentially taking their virginities without being married. And if I cannot think of a bigger hypocrisy than that, like with dating and marriage and all that stuff, to where you can't claim, oh, I want my woman to be pure, and then you have no problem taking another woman's purity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you want to be a man whore? Go be a man whore. But trying to then claim that, like, oh, we're traditional, we're based, this is the best way for women to best way to get a woman, and best way to deal with them or whatever. It's like, women are not like cars or a vehicle or some object to fawn over or whatever. It's like, they're people too. You can be friends with them, you go to work with them, you go to school with them, they're in your family. There are women in everybody's life. And for some reason, some of the dating stuff has just gotten to where it's like, oh, they're just, here's how you talk to them, here's how you deal with them, fuck them hoes or whatever. It's like, that's not the point. That should never have been the point. Yes. Are the divorce rates really bad? Is it really bad on how the courts treat men a lot of the times? Are there actual injustices out there? Of course. Is the answer to then go, oh, we'll just forget all that, MGTOW, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. Okay, your ex-wife fucked you over. Okay, you had a couple crazy exes. I can point to plenty of successful marriages and relationships right now. Not in the 50s, not in the 60s, not before everything got woke and trans and or whatever. Today, I can point to those people. So if it's possible, yes, it might be rare. Yes, people might be becoming more and more low quality. But at the same time, if everybody's becoming low quality, that means men and women, like, I have plenty of stories of trying to become friends with people or having like really sour interactions with coworkers or whatever. And I would consider those people low quality, men or women.
Yeah.
So for us to just go, oh, women suck, blah, 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 you know, men are the victims or whatever. It's like, no, there are men that suck. There are women that suck. They sucked 100 years ago. They sucked 200 years ago. They sucked 5 years ago. They suck today.
Shout out Pride Month.
Yeah, shout out Pride Month. Yeah, they suck today. Sorry, I don't think about gay things all the time, but it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, how do you face these social problems? And I'm just under the impression where it's like everybody has their struggles, everybody has their issues, and if we can be just a slightly better influence for a bad date or a shitty coworker or whatever, if we can just have a little just whatever, it's not about them. It's about us. It's about us trying to make a difference. If it's always about me, my, collecting hoes and collecting money and cars or whatever, you're just Andrew Tate. You're just Andrew Tate all over again. And those same people are going to be like, Andrew Tate sucks or blah, 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 and his stupid bald head. And it's like, at what point do you become the thing that you hate? And I think oftentimes with MGTOW and all that stuff, if it's just hate, blah, 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 it's like, I don't care how valid your grievances are. This movement sucks. This movement is toxic. I do not want to be a part of it. I am a young man. Whenever I hear a lot of the MGTOW stuff, whenever I hear a lot of that, I think it's gay and cringe and a huge, giant LARP. I know LARP has become a reused term recently, but it's one of those things where I look at it, it's a grift, it's cringe, they have no morals, they're spineless, not a fan.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. I'm not going to debate you or anything like that. Like, I think what you're saying is valid and comes from a place of, like experience, especially with what you've dealt with in your life and what you've seen online. And, like my main issue with what Nick here is talking about and what Richard Spencer was saying is mostly just like this senseless attack on Andrew Wilson's family. And again, like if you're gonna be like if you're MGTOW, like here's the deal, like if you're MGTOW, at least in my mind, MGTOW is men going their own way. They're gonna live their own life how they want, and women aren't really gonna be a factor. And if that's like their personal choice, I think that's great. And if they feel like they came to that place through, reasonable means, I guess, that's fine. But if you're gonna be doing, living your best life, going your own way, doing your own thing, why bother going online and trashing people like Andrew Wilson and his family and his children and victimizing them? Like here's the deal, you guys. Like I have a lot of friends who, they are mixing it up with their, in terms of like their family life. And I would be hated and resented if I come on here and I start mocking and trashing all single moms and all dudes who want to step up and be a positive influence on innocent children. Not only am I going to isolate myself from friends I've known for decades, but I'm going to have young people hate and resent me. And I don't want to be a bully, and I don't want to be hated or be a villain in someone's life. I don't want people to point at me and say, that bad dude, Giovanni, hurt my family with his words, with his opinions. Like, he made everybody feel like shit and he thought he was better than everybody. And one, I would never do that. Two, like, I legitimately have no ill will towards people's personal preferences. And that's what, like, a lot of people in the red pill space in the manosphere need to understand. It's like, you're going to be out in the real world and you can have your opinions about whatever preference you may have in regards to choosing a partner, but you might run into somebody and they're going to change your outlook on everything and you're going to fall in love. And a lot of the time it's not a choice, That's just how it is. The people I want to hate me are people like Destiny, people like Kyle Kalinske, pedophiles, those are my enemies. People who fleece and mislead young men. communists, Bolsheviks, racists, like the people that are attacking the Austin Metcalf family, people who perpetuate hoax hate crimes to stoke hatred and animus towards me, like people like Anna Kasparian, like those are my enemies. I don't want some young child or some young person to fucking hate me because I trashed on their family. And a lot of these people, like in the red pill or the manosphere, like not like the content creators, but like the people who view that content, if you want to repeat the opinions that you hear online, like just prepare to be isolated and even more lonely, because most people are mixing it up. Or I don't even know if most people is the right word, but a lot of people are mixing it up, and they're living, peaceful, and they're going about it just fine. And if you want to be a big dick about it and be holier than thou, then just prepare to be hated. Obviously, like a content creator wouldn't necessarily give a shit, but like a normal person should. Like somebody who consumes that kind of content. And I can kind of understand where Richard Spencer is coming from. While I don't trust him and think he's a Fed, he said some interesting things that would have been nice to see play out in a debate of ideas between Andrew Wilson. But he elected to go after his family and make comments about these people he doesn't even fucking know. And that's fucking disgusting. Well, again, if you don't want to step up and raise another man's kids, God bless. That is your personal choice. I have my own. Again, I don't think I could do it. But I'm not going to look down and fucking sneer at anybody who wants to try because they fell in love with somebody. I think it's wrong, you guys. And a lot of these young people, a lot of these young guys who gravitate towards the manosphere or the red pill, like they have grievances and they do come from broken homes. I've talked to a lot of these youngsters, and you're attacking their fucking moms and shit. Like, I just don't want to do it. Again, and not only that, like a lot of this, like a lot of the red pill manosphere pickup dating roach bullshit is like really brown coded now. It's like a lot of like Indians and Pakistanis and like Latinxes that are like gravitating towards it. And I just don't want to be a part of any of that shit. I think it's cringe. And again, like I have a lot of love and respect for people in the red pill space and the manosphere, because they do have legitimate grievances. Like here's what I would like to see. If the manosphere and the red pill was a little bit more savvy, they would create like a legitimate voting block to protect young men from being sent off to die for Israel. They would prevent universities from discriminating against young men. They would be, they would call out the users and abusers. They would be able to protect men who are falsely accused of crimes they didn't commit. But now it's become like a fucking circus where it's like, oh, pay me a lot of money and I'll teach you how to fuck, or pay me a lot of money and you'll have a Bugatti in a year or whatever. Like it's a clown show. Like, look, roasting the cringe TikToks of the 304s and whatnot. It's fucking hilarious. Going over the articles and stuff is like it's hilarious. But like when you start like going after people's families and commenting on shit, like there's no going back, man. There's some shit that you say, guys, that you're gonna say in the real world and you can't take it back, and you will never be forgiven. That's just how it is, man. That's how it is. Let me read some of these comments here. What's
so
up?
Gio, I just noticed though you said something bad about a certain country. I'm gonna have to call my handler.
Oh, don't worry about it. Let me see.
I'm sending Gio to fight for Israel first.
Let's see. I'm a big believer in monogamy.
Well, I was reading. There's a comment right here I wanted to read.
Yeah, go ahead.
They
read
don't
it.
come from broken homes. They come from a broken relationship sold on a silver platter by people like Andrew Wilson. Okay, and the thing is, I would argue is that marriage is kind of a lottery. Finding a woman that wants to stick with you and commit to her. Commit to you as the man in the relationship and trusting you entirely to the point that it's like, yeah, I'll live with you. Yeah, I'll wear the ring. Yeah, I'll do these things. Almost every man in this chat has probably been on dates with women, and guess what? Are not probably married. Or we're not married on every woman that they went on a date with. And they probably all have bad stories about women that they went on dates with. The issue is taking that bad experience and then going, dating sucks, I suck, the world sucks, everything sucks, I'm done. And it's like, yeah, okay, dating sucks. I'm sure that women have gone on bad dates with every one of us here too.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. And
Yeah.
if the women then want to complain about the guys and the guys want to complain about the women, blah, blah, blah. The only difference now is that we have the internet and we have a bigger scope of seeing some of these problems and seeing like, and sometimes it's very telegraphed. Sometimes it's very, in my opinion, kind of mind control-y to where it's like, oh, look over here. Look at this distraction. Oh, look at this. Like, the fact that MGTOW is going against your very biology is really, really bad. Well, here's
Let me
another
read some of
comment.
these
Marriage
comments
has
really
never
quick.
been a lottery until birth control gave unilateral control over the reproductive process. Women have always had control over the reproductive process. Women have always gotten to choose who they marry and have kids with. Now the only difference is there's a slightly stronger, like they can technically have non-committed sexual relationships now, but men can still pick women that aren't on birth control. Birth control is not just something that every woman is on.
Okay, well, let me read some of these comments, and then we'll go ahead and continue. It's about intelligently navigating the sexual marketplace. Marriage is borderline a dead institution now. A days, unless you're a strict Christian, even then, I guess. It's not Andrew Wilson's family, though. Well, it is if he's stepping up, and the wife says yes. I don't really trash him much. I was in his chat for hours today, but it is a funny situation, though, and I don't mind pinging at it a bit. Requisis sunk his thick black cock inside his wife and bounced. I don't know who that is. And Andrew Wilson dove in, wedding ring in hand. Again, I don't know anything about that. Ash Blackman, don't mind me. I'm testing the possibly censored word whoring. Okay, well I see it. Let's try another one. No, I can't see that. No. No, that wasn't the word. The censored. Blah blah blah. Andrew Wilson just has enough testosterone to pretend that he's not a goy boy. I think that's what you're trying to say. Men are hated regardless. Well, again, I don't really know if that's true. The AI sensors based on blah blah blah. Okay, they don't come from broken home. They come from broken relationships sold on a silver platter by people like Andrew Wilson. Again, like I'm not really sure what you mean by that, and that's not how MGTOW was born. I don't think I made a claim as to how. Oh, you're talking to Chris. Zoomers are making their own MGTOW type. She focuses more on society abandonment. Geo pushing voting again. God damn it. There it is. Ma, why don't the red pill make a political party that is anti-Israel? It's not about being anti-Israel, dude. It's just about not sending people to go fucking die needlessly in these stupid fucking wars.
That was the Tea Party.
Like, isn't that what we're
literally
against?
The Tea Party.
Do you want to see young men, young American men, young Western men perish for another fucking country's geopolitical gain? I'm not. And again, like there's like, look, the red pill in MGTOW sprung forth from legitimate problems, real world problems in society. And like, if you want to do something, like you got to do something in the real world, and it's got to be meaningful. And to counter signal that is bullshit. Let's see. Maybe the men going their own way don't actually have a leader. Andrew Wilson talks about his way. That's not anybody else's way but his. Same with all of them. Like I don't really watch Andrew Wilson's content, so I'm not really sure what his position is on like being a leader for like the red pill or whatever, or being a leader for men. But again, like if you want to change how men are treated in the family courts, like that's a political problem. If you don't want young men being indoctrinated, being groomed in the public school system, like that's a political problem. As sad as it is to say, but that's a political issue. And then when you counter signal voting or getting involved or criticize anybody who wants to do anything in the real world, like that, like it's just like, okay, well, is red pill MGTOW shit like a psyop just to make men fucking useless and worthless? I mean, it's the same problem with all these conspiratards. Like again, like they don't care about any of the issues that they talk about. Like they really don't. And if you're like a part of the
how do you get more defeatist than going against your very biological nature?
Yeah,
how do you get more defeatist than that? Where it's like if MGTOW was like, get castrated, go live in the woods, don't talk to another woman again. Like, I literally cannot think of a more, like, just going against the very nature of...
Yeah, and that's just not how people function.
So,
anyways,
like, all of our ancestors,
social.
everything they've worked for, all the effort that they've put into keeping their genes alive and well and surviving are going to die with us because some guy on the internet went, women suck, you should believe me. Like, really? This is where we are now? I don't like that. That doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, and that was actually one of my main criticisms of Pearly Things. I think that's her name, the fucking goofy bitch. She was like, dude, like, because one of my buddies like posted like a Pearly Things video like in one of my private discords, and I'm like, don't fucking send me that slop. Like, fuck her. Like, she tells her young male audience to get castrated. Like, dude,
The fuck?
like, yeah, I'm not fucking kidding. She's like, yeah, they need to be get vasectomies. Like, she's promoting this. Like, these are who are talking to these young kids. Like, it's fucking sickening. And I know not all like red pill people are like that, or like manosphere people are like that. Again, like, I like Chronic a lot. Like, I think he's fucking hilarious. I think his roasts are top tier, and he makes a lot of really great points. And when he gets political, like, I think that's when he shines the most. And like, he's worth listening to. And there is like this element of like resentment just in generality, like in the red pill and manosphere. And like, if these people need leaders, like they're gonna need real direction, because like being perpetually angry and like attacking people in your personal life and like mocking people's personal relationships or preferences, like, it's not a long-term solution. It's not even a short-term solution. It's just a recipe for further isolating yourself. And then you're gonna like wonder, like, why does nobody want to be my friend? Why does nobody want to talk to me? And it's lonely. And like, we're meant to be like social with other individuals, you know? And it's like, you're doing
And
the
dating
opposite
is a part
that.
of that. Dating is a part of that social,
Well, but then
social piece.
But then on the flip side, you also have those people that have just failed in life. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
they're just so
there's an element
desperate.
of that too. It's like, look, they're like, oh, well, I'm entitled to a job. Well, are you willing to work hard for it? Because it's not easy to get like a good job. Like,
No,
when
dude,
I was growing up,
I
like,
got-
I worked a part-time job and I was going to school, and I paid for it all in cash. And eventually, after being at my job for an extended period of time, they ended up subsidizing a part of it. You know, like, you had to fucking work for like your education, and you had to work hard for a job. But you know, a lot of these fucking idiots feel like they're above getting employment, and they're above even trying. They should just be handed all these things, and that's just not how it is. You know, like Richard
Like-
Spencer, even though he's a cringe lord, like, he does make some interesting points. And unfortunately for us, we didn't get to see this debate play out because he sucks and he's a bitch.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Feminism is, hold on one second. Ash Blackwood says feminism is why men stay away from women. They are deeply rooted into the legal system, too biased. Fix that, and we fix society, for starters. But yeah, feminism is largely a problem, I think. You know, the mindset, you know, the attitude, and their animus towards men. Like, I don't think it's healthy. And yeah, like, we're seeing it in the real world. Like, men don't want to go to like these single dating events. They don't want to really participate in certain fields of work, or they're just being pushed outright because of political reasons. Again, like, men are being discriminated against. And it's wrong, and it's horrible. And again, like, if there's a lot of things that need to be corrected, and sadly, it is a political issue. And I've yet to see anybody suggest otherwise. Like, what's the solution to these problems that isn't political? It's like, oh, taking up arms, or just letting the barbarians at the gates come on in and destroy society.
We let two retards debate online about topics that barely fucking personally affect us.
Well,
Like
you know what's
what?
funny? People are saying the draft will fix it all. Once these people actually have to be forced into adulthood, that they actually level out. But I don't know how that would play out. I saw that online. I'm like, I guess that's an
so
interesting
stupid.
point.
The military is an adult daycare nowadays. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know if that's true. Hold up, Morse code. What are you trying to say? Why is Joe conflating the frauds allowed to be successful and smear people with them? What do you mean by that? I don't understand. My hair is curly, even straightened. It should hold any. Okay, I don't care about this. Shut up.
Thank you, Gio. You should read that again, actually.
No. No, I stopped once she's talking about herself. Maybe I should try hairspray. I thought I would do that. Okay, no.
Stop,
anyways, we're gonna
Gio.
finish this video
Stop.
because I listened to her. Well, what are you talking? Why are you crying?
No, you're just reading all the comments autistically.
Oh, well, you're supposed to read the fucking comments. Anyways, we're gonna try to
read them in your
complete this
head.
Video. All right, we were like at 45 seconds.
Circumstances.
No, we were like 2 minutes.
It's not always not resent them. That's not always how it happens, because life is complicated, and people are complicated, and sometimes people have a circuitous road to happiness, to their family. And it actually does take a ton of integrity, and that actually is real Christ-like masculinity to marry a woman, and if she has kids, treat them as the innocent children they are and love them because they need a father, not resent them because They threaten your ego or challenge your ego. So don't give me this, you know it's wrong. Come on. Don't give me that, come on. Don't give me that. That's a lot of nonsense. And, you know, look, every child deserves a father. A lot of people don't have a father, would like a father, and it shouldn't be taken out on the children. So that's all a fucking LARP. And I'll say something else. You know, I do believe in Jesus Christ. I do believe in mercy. I do believe in forgiveness. I do believe in charity and magnanimity and grace. These are our values. This is what it is to be good. You know, these other people that are talking down on that are not role models. They're not role models. They're not people that I admire. They're not people that have a lot of integrity themselves. So I really don't like that people are going after. I mean, listen, I don't agree with Andrew Wilson on everything. You know, him and I, we obviously have we agree on a lot of things. We have somewhat different politics, but that actually is a decent man. That is actually a good man. He's got a good wife. They have a nice family. He's doing the right thing. He's being a father for fatherless children. That's commendable.
Yo, what's up with his thumbs, bro? Anyways.
He's an alien.
What's up with your hair, Gio? Shut up and keep playing the video.
And not everybody can do that. Not everybody would do that. But it takes a lot of integrity for him to do that. And he should be admired for that, not ridiculed, not made fun of. People shouldn't glibly say that's gay, that's being cucked. You know, I think that's very cheap and it's very low. It's very easy to say that, especially if you're somebody that is not very responsible yourself. You know, not for nothing, but consider the source. I don't like that. I saw the first clip where Spencer and him had a disagreement about the rules. I didn't see the final clip where Spencer's making fun of their dead child. As if that's appropriate, as if that has any quarter, as if that should be tolerated in any way.
$5 super chat and I'll prove the hair is real.
He's saying the parents were reckless. That's why their kid died. Why go there? That is so wicked and so wrong. And for people to think that's funny or people think that's banter, I really question whether you have a conscience. And you know me, I'm a troll. I like to have fun. I think things are funny, but that's just so beyond the pale. And then to throw out, oh, that's gay, that's cocked. You know, that's easy to say when, you know, you're living like you think you're a rock star, living an irresponsible life of your own, and everybody else is supposed to pick up the pieces. The fatherless children, the women without a man, you know, we're all supposed to pick up the pieces for the rock stars that think that's gay and that's cocked and that's for losers and that's for losers that love people. I mean, you know, that's no way to live. So I just really question, you know, who are the role models going to be? It's fun. It's funny. It's cute. It's funny. But who's the real role model there? I think Andrew Wilson's the real role model, actually. I think he's actually the upstanding guy. And I say that with no animosity, but I didn't like that, and that was wrong. You know, that was wrong. We should be able to say with conviction, that's wrong, and I don't think that sets a very good example, actually. I don't think that's cool, and I don't think it's funny. So, you know, I like Spencer. He's a friend of mine. I like his content. I think he's got some interesting ideas, but that was wrong. It was wrong, and it was shitty, and it was wrong, and if you have a conscience, you should be able to differentiate between those things. Okay, you disagreed about the format of the debate. You bring their dead kid into it. What does the matter with you? Who says something like that? It's just not right. And so anyway, so yeah, I had a big problem with that. I didn't see that clip, and that's why I had to say something today. I don't want to, you know, intervene in another debate, intervene in another drama, but now I saw somebody saying, "Oh yeah, he's a fucking gay cuck. Oh, that's real masculinity." It's like, okay. So anyway.
Yeah, he's 100% right. Andrew Wilson did end up appreciating this post. Dude, this kid literally tells people to go end themselves daily. Now he's on some high horse. He made an Epstein quarter zip after that guy trafficked children, but now he is worried about children. I call cap. Yeah, this is, I guess, fair criticisms. But again, I guess if you were to straw man this behavior, it's like he's joking. But by the way, you shouldn't tell people to delete themselves. You could be held liable if they do, and the family will go after you, especially if you're like a rich influencer. Just, it's a bad idea. shouldn't be doing that. And then the Epstein thing, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a boomer and don't fucking get it. But yeah, this is just not a good look. Yeah, no, I thought this was a massive W. Aldrin Wilson last at 180 innocent Iranian little girls getting bombed. Not yet. No, he didn't do that at all. And again, like, who gives a fuck? Like, it again, like, why do you care about something that's happening thousands of miles away that doesn't concern you? What's worse is the discourse online where people feel like it's necessary to attack people's children. Like, we didn't attack those 180 innocent Iranian girls. Like, that was Israel or something. I don't like Andrew Wilson. He's constantly chain smoking, which is a sign of low character. Hey, fuck you. People who smoked created this country. Smoked those cowboy killers.
Yeah, those cancer
Nigga's
sticks.
totally
too.
wrong here. Richard Spencer was obviously discussing the parents and their lack of interest in their child's whereabouts and well-being. Yeah, well, again, even if that was true, which it isn't, like, he wouldn't know because he's a fucking idiot. Why even bring it up and attack this family and attack those children? Richard Spencer does that because he's a flamboyant cocksucker in the literal sense, in the Pride Month sense. Yeah, he's a little too into karaoke, if you know what I mean, guys. And yeah, like, it was just this is what, like, hysterical queens do. Like, when they get disrespected or they get inconvenienced in some way, they get all sassy and girl bossy. That's who Richard Spencer is. Again, this guy's on video getting smacked around and he doesn't do shit, but he wants to act like a badass and also disrupt his show by dropping bigoted slurs, which is like a huge no-no if you're streaming, because you'll get fucking banned. Again, like, I've had videos removed for bullying. Just ask Eric July. He has it in it for me. But yeah, I don't know. What I mean, does it change anything that you guys feel or believe, or no?
I just think anyone with another country's flag in it, they automatically lose any sense of, I guess, how do I say this? I don't care about their opinion. Like, if you got a Ukraine flag in your profile and you're trying to, like, comment on shit, I don't care.
Yeah, as soon as I see, like, a Ukraine flag, I just instantly roll my eyes and just move on.
Well, and this should be seen as, like, stupid, like, vapid internet sports. And if people are, like, making this a big deal, or, like, if they're making it something that it should just be something you put on your computer or phone or whatever while you're making dinner or something. If people are making it more than that, or like, oh, we're gonna talk about it for weeks and weeks and blah blah blah, it's like, no. I mean, that's the reason a lot of the culture war stuff I thought kind of got really, really cringe really fast, because it's like, yeah, you're just gonna complain about, like, oh, look at the black trans people in the new Call of Duty. Oh, woke. It's like, okay, I'm annoyed. I'm done. It's the same thing here, to where it's just like, oh, you have one internet guy in the corner versus another internet guy in the other corner. All right, go talk to each other. It's like, okay.
Go kiss, it's Pride Month. There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you talk about Pride Month one more time, I'm gonna think there's something up. We're gonna have to have a
Yeah,
chat.
is there something that you want to get off your chest? Well, we'll let off
He
with
was like, I
this.
love Pride Month. I gotta talk about it. Pride Month. It's June, guys. Pride Month. It's like,
Well-
okay, thank you. We already know.
We're gonna wrap up with the.
Do you want to remind us again that it is Pride Month? I forgot. What month is
you
it
should.
again?
It's
What month is it
called.
again? It's also
All right,
Mental
Turge,
Health
no
Month.
more
Like, there's
Pride
other-
Month
there's
comments.
other
Get
months
banned
that
from
we
the
could talk
stream.
about.
No more Pride Month comments. See,
I
here at the
really wanna say a
Watchfrogs,
slur.
here at the Watchfrogs, we are allies
I
to
wanna
the
say a
rainbow
slur.
community. We love and respect all people, especially in vulnerable rainbow communities. There is a safe space in my Discord where nobody will be able to hurl slurs at you. I made sure of that. So yeah, we have this movie coming out. We're just gonna end up with this pop culture thing. Maybe there's some consume sins. We'll see. But yeah,
Well, I was gonna list all the other things.
No.
June is also PTSD Awareness Month,
Yes.
Men's Health Month, Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, National Safety Month, Immigrant Heritage Month, Caribbean American Heritage Month. So there's other ones. It's not just.
I will
it's not
be
just Pride Month.
celebrating none of those or acknowledging any of them. I will just be
Any
living
of
my
them.
life.
So you don't care about PTSD Awareness Month or Men's Health Month?
Dude, this is the first time ever hearing about a PTSD awareness month. I didn't know.
What about National Safety Month? Highlighting injury prevention in workplace and home. You don't care about that, Jill?
Yeah. Oh, Yellow Kazoo is in the chat. F. Karmello, long live the whites. I agree. Since when did you become a libtard?
Whoa.
I got called a
Hitler's
libtard.
biggest
What
fan
makes
in
me a
here now.
libtard? There is 0 allowed speech on the Discords. LOLs. I know that's a joke. You can still make a thread in the Discord if you wanted to. Look, we're not doing that. Zombie bomb.
You don't care about celebrating the diverse culture impacts of immigrants?
Look, if anything, we're going backwards on
research?
it because I made a joke that Caesar Chavez Day is kind of like useless and retarded, and sure enough, the guy was Me Too'd, even though he's been dead forever. And yeah, they actually took down a giant statue of Caesar Chavez in Las Vegas because like apparently he's a pedophile, and he was like molesting like these girls and shit. So yeah, and I'm like, dude, we should replace like Juneteenth and Caesar Chavez Day with like Toyotathon or like National Pretzel Day. At least you'll like get something out of it. Like National Pretzel Day, if you go to Wetzel's Pretzel, you get a free pretzel. It's pretty base. And of course Toyotathon, epic deals, dope cars. What's not to like? But it's possible.
What's your favorite Toyota, Gio?
Let's see. You're useless and retarded. Wait, why am I useless and retarded? What the hell?
Gio, what's
okay,
your favorite
she's
Toyota?
kidding. Okay, I'm like, wait, what did I say? I was like, what did you
I
say?
love Toyotas. They're great. And then I said, what's your favorite Toyota?
I really, really like the old school Toyota Hilux vehicles. I think they look so fucking cool and classy. They're so simple and sexy. That's my thing.
Yeah, well,
simple and
and
sexy,
sexy,
especially these single cabs.
So pick another car.
Well, okay. I really dig the 4Runner. The 4Runner is pretty sleek. It's pretty badass. You know, like
the GR Corolla.
Wait, say that again.
GR Corolla. The GR Corolla.
I don't have a strong opinion about their smaller sedans, but I'm not opposed to them because I hear they're really well made.
It's not about the sedan; it's about the engine in it.
Yeah. You got scared twice so far tonight. This is awesome.
The 4Runner might be my next car, either that or a Tacoma.
The Yellow Kazoo rides. Yeah, Caesar Chavez was removed.
You should get a Subaru for how gay you're being tonight.
Who, me or Turge?
Both of you guys, I guess. You guys can hold hands while you drive it around.
Oh, you want to share one with me? Go ahead.
All right, guys, you're derailing the
Walk
show.
Your toes.
You guys are derailing the show.
Together,
we need to wrap this up because we're over 2 hours and 30 minutes now. All right, so this week, Steven Spielberg's The Disclosure Day movie is coming out. Are you guys excited to see it?
Nope, it looks really boring.
I have no clue.
It's about the disclosure of alien life to all of humanity and how humanity responds to it. What's interesting about it, people have been saying very hateful and anti-Semitic things. They're saying Steven Spielberg sparks Christian fury amid claims his new movie will destroy beliefs. Steven Spielberg, the last name, has sparked outrage online after suggesting his upcoming alien blockbuster could force Christians to reconsider some of their most deeply held beliefs. Isn't it interesting that it's always like Christians that are being targeted with this fucking goy slop and this propaganda? Never towards the Scientologists or the Muslims or the Hindus. It's always Christians and Catholics for whatever reason. Disclosure Day, the director's highly anticipated film coming out this Friday, follows a whistleblower who races to release classified evidence proving that extraterrestrial life exists, upending the established world order. All right, so in the event that, let's say, intelligent life is exposed, do you guys think it's going to upend the established world order?
Nope. And I'm just gonna say Project Bluebeam and leave it at that.
Okay, what about you, Cheese? Because you seem to be really interested in this alien shit.
Okay, so here's the thing: is that if aliens were to come down tomorrow and be like, "There is no God, we are God," blah blah blah, that upends every single belief. Like everybody's belief is gonna get blown out of the water. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian, atheist, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever. If these actual events were to happen, it would potentially question everybody's beliefs. So for its only challenge, for them to only be like the Christian belief or whatever, it could be that Christians are talking about a lot of weird alien stuff. I've seen some circles of that to where Some Christians believe all the UFO stuff is like higher demonic energy or whatever. And I don't really hear like Muslims talking about that. I don't really hear like Hindus talking about it, but I sure do hear a lot of Christians talking about it. So if this article is just talking about that, then it's like, okay, yeah. But they're like in a way, the Jewish God, the Christian God, and the Muslim God all have similar ties to each other. Obviously, they're going to disagree, but they have a lot of similar history and a lot of similar ideas and beliefs. Obviously, Muslims have branched off a lot, but there is at least a semi-connected history to each other. So if you kind of challenge one, you're probably going to challenge all three. But again, if aliens were to come down, it would kind of challenge everybody.
Well, I am now more entrenched in the belief that aliens are fake and it's all a retarded psyop and the moon landing is fake. Like, dude, like it seems like there people want to really take advantage of President Trump unleashing all these files, and now one of the biggest movie directors and producers of all time is publishing this movie, and of course all the usual suspects come out and they're like, hey, Christians, get ready to question your faith after you're done seeing this film and spending all your fucking money and consuming the goy slop. You're gonna abandon the cross, you're gonna abandon your Bible, and you're gonna start questioning everything and becoming a fucking like new age retard or whatever. Yeah, this sounds like a psyop to me, man. Like I know a psyop when I see one, and now more than ever, I am convinced that aliens do not exist, and they may very well be demons from hell coming to trick the people and get them to consume the product, and the product is Disclosure, which is coming out this Friday. So I will be providing links in the Discord to pirate the film for free, so we are not giving the internationalists any money, because I think that's awesome. I don't give a fuck if anybody comes after me. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and test this out. Let me see if I can actually pirate it right now. And if so, ladies and gentlemen, on the Discord, I'm going to provide a link to the movie Disclosure Day. Let's see. So we can all watch it, and then I'm going to give my fair and unbiased review, my amazing analysis. Let's see. Disclosure Day. Oh, my God. Oh, this is so exciting. Let me see if I can pirate this shit right now. All right. Server 1. All right, here we go. I'm testing this out. Seeing if I can watch it yet.
Geo downloads the next Fed virus.
Benjamin Netanyahu. Giovanni has the capability of nuclear
Okay,
weapons.
we're gonna have to wait till Friday, you guys. We're gonna have to wait till Friday. So
the
yeah.
pager pops open. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, never worry, guys. Yeah, we're just not there yet, you guys. We're just not there yet. We gotta wait for them to provide us with a thing, so we can pirate the film. Okay. Let's just quickly go through all this. The fuck is all this shit? Oh, this is probably for like consume sins. Oh man, I just don't have it in me to go through this. We had to deal with them for 40 to 50 years. What the fuck is this? Millennials are just an entire generation of goyim. Oh yeah, that's 100% true, but the account is suspended. What the hell? All right, Master Cheeks. Oh, it's a great username. I like that. All right, let me read some of these comments, and then we're signing off. But we had a really great stream. Thank you, everybody who was talking to me. We're going over the Karmello Anthony stuff. Okay, people are calling me a rainbow man in the comment section. The fuck? Gio got scared twice so far tonight. This is awesome. Fuck you for laughing at my misfortune. Dude, I fucking hate when people scare me. Like when I worked at this like I worked at Hollister when I was like a teen, and like the store's really dark and like it's fucking loud. You can't hear shit. So like we would like hide like in like little corners. We'd like hide in like little crevices, whatever, and then we would pop out and scare people. And I tried so hard to play it off like I was like cool with it, because nobody wants to be like a bitch, right? I fucking hated it. I fucking hated it so much. It made me so mad when people scared me. Gio, you need a Subaru for your gayness. No. I'm never going to buy a car again. I'm going to drive my Jaguar until the fucking wheels fly off. until it combusts into like flames and shit.
Oh, so you're the Jag meme from Top Gear.
Yeah, I know the meme.
He
Shut
ran
up,
over my
shut up,
dog,
boomer.
but it's
Nobody wants to hear
okay,
your
'cause
boomer
he's got a
joke.
Jag.
Shut your boomer ass up. Let Geo enough time to goon. Disavow. Always Christians. The alphabet. Yeah, I know, right? Always Christians when they're trying to like convince us to like abandon our faith. Yeah, I'm never gonna abandon Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna abandon my faith. It's fucking lame. Anybody who does is cringe. I regret being an atheist growing up. The alphabet community doesn't need a safe space. It makes them so soft that it encourages them to act like a child on a tantrum in the real world when things don't go their way. That's just my opinion. You're not entirely wrong. Let's see, these aliens, 1v1, my God, agreed. I'm going to be off for, well, oh yeah, Chris, you'll probably hear this later, but yeah, peace out, buddy. I'm not going to read your comment. I'm sure it's really stupid, Turge. Let's see. Aliens equal demons. Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, just like the way that aliens are depicted in popular media, it just stands to reason that they're aliens. You know, they somehow manage to get into your room without you noticing, and they're like, "Oh, it's this advanced technology." Bullshit. Like, dude, there's not a fucking thing that I don't hear in my home. Like, I would definitely hear an alien sneak into my house using some goofy ass technology. That's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna get tricked or outplayed by an alien. It's obviously demons. They're able to manifest anywhere they want. Let's see.
So, Gio, since you won't read my comment, you don't want to trade your bike in for a scooter?
Shut up, pussy. I'm gonna mute you. Me and the boys about to get Project Blue beamed. And if anything happened, I would say Project Blue Beam because of all the other psyops have failed. They've been hinting at a fake AI alien invasion for decades. Conspiratards seeing the vids. Oh, okay. Is that what it is? Yeah, I don't know how that would play out. I don't know. Somebody who like touches grass, like I feel like a fake alien invasion would just not work. But then again, they did it with a fake virus, so whatever.
How they were saying that we were having the Northern Lights down here like a while back?
No.
That's that radar dish in Alaska. Cheese, help me on that one. Which one is that? Not LARP.
Yellow Kazoo. We're gonna have to take this conversation off.
Wait, yo, I was about to say, I'm like, there's a lot of
Geo's now a Karen. Okay, now I'm being called a Karen. What the fuck, guys? Geo loves probes. What the fuck, cheese? Okay, they kind of already did that with the Da Vinci Code. I never seen the Da Vinci Code, and I didn't read it. I felt like it was just too subversive, and it was also really popular. And as a hipster, I just can't really do anything that's popular. So yeah, you'd have to fill me in on what the hell the Da Vinci Code was about. It had Tom Hanks, in my opinion, in a video game, a notorious PDF document. One of Epstein's closest
The Da Vinci
associates.
Code is based off of like a huge hoax, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
They wanted to like tie it into historical precedent, and then none of it made any sense because literally the biggest piece of the evidence wasn't even real.
Yeah. By the way, I figured it out. Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, like most
HARP.
of history,
So
like we talked about, like the hidden figures and shit, and how they totally like the whole entire movie was like pure fiction. It's like really funny, and I was talking about this with somebody in like the PUBG Discord that we're in, and like one of my buddies, she's like, oh my god, like because she just recently graduated from high school and she's like going off to college, and she's like, yeah, I had to do that assignment where we had to talk about the hidden figures or like the individuals in the movie Hidden Figures, and like all of it was fake. Yeah, like it's just easy to assume that like the majority of the things that we learned in high school and primary school was like all made up. And now more than ever, it's like it's really important to be skeptical of regime approved narratives. Like I know Trump is kind of like at the wheel, but he's also not. And it's pretty obvious that like a lot of the bad shit just keeps kind of circumventing him, and it's like reaching his voters and his fans and supporters. And he needs to do a better job at like, swatting off all the fakery. So I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed there, but I mean, he's too busy, MAGA cocks, sucking MAGA cocks or whatever. With a disclosure,
I'm pretty sure NASA was just to get Nazi rocket scientist jobs.
No, that's not what it was. Like in my opinion, the whole point of NASA was to just fleece the American people, extract like mass amounts of wealth for satanic purposes. A lot of the original figureheads of NASA, they were demonic worshippers, literally Satanists. And again, they perpetrated this hoax to make more money. And it's pretty obvious that like a lot of the bad shit just keeps kind of circumventing him, and it's like reaching his voters and his fans and supporters. And he needs to do a better job at like, swatting off all the fakery. So I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed there, but I mean, he's too busy, MAGA cocks, sucking MAGA cocks or whatever. With a disclosure,
Yeah,
And then the moon landing narrative, it's malleable. You know, you can make it into whatever you want. That's why it's so dangerous, and that's how we got Hidden Figures. So at first it was like, white man goes to the moon. Then it's like, here's a picture of like this cute nerdy girl. Now we would never have gone to the moon without this girl. Feminism, am I right? And then Hidden Figures comes out, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, like racism, and we wouldn't have been able to do to go to the moon without like these like fat sassy women. And look how like horribly they were abused. And then of course, when you look at archived video interviews of these individuals, they're like, yeah, we were never mistreated. Nobody really cared about racism, which would make a lot of sense because a lot of the original figureheads of NASA, they were Bolsheviks, you know, they were communists, you know, they were egalitarian, and they would never mistreat the women depicted in the movie Hidden Figures. Again, like, it's all fake, guys. Like, it's all fucking made up. Like, they made it up. Like, I'm not fucking crazy. You know, it's how it is.
What's that one layer, anyways, that everyone always argues in the moon landing stuff? They can't break that out of Earth's orbit or something like that.
The Van Halen, the Van Halen belt.
The Van Halen belt.
Is that what it, or the is that what it's called?
Like
hold on, one second. I want to say it right. I don't know why. I was looking at this poster of Van Halen, but let me see. The Van Halen belt. Hold up. How do you pronounce this shit? Yeah, it's a Van Allen radiation belts.
Yeah.
I just said it weird, but like I was right.
The Van Halen belt? I like that.
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, again, like I don't really think you need science or technical know-how to really refute the moon landing hoax. Like, it's a lot easier to do it with philosophy, and I think it's more effective because when you have like retards arguing about it, they're like talking about like rocket technology and shit. It's like, bro, like, first off, that technology doesn't even fucking exist anymore per the NASA dorks. That's what they claim. So it's kind of meaningless. And not only that, it's like, if I'm not a rocket scientist and you're not either, and neither of us have been to space, like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah, and isn't it kind of weird though?
By that logic, though, you're leaning into like a lot of flat Earth stuff.
No, not necessarily. Look, I think you can make a compelling case where it's like, look, there's enough trickery and fakery from the science fuckboys to make the case that it's not totally unreasonable to think that this event was totally manufactured. I don't think it's unreasonable. Maybe the flat Earth stuff, sure. You can probably make the case like, yeah, maybe the Earth is, you know, round or whatever. It's kind of self-evident, you know?
Yeah, but you're gonna find a lot of flat earthers that don't believe in the moon landing. But like a lot of like people that deny the moon landing probably aren't gonna deny that the Earth is round.
Yeah.
Like the two don't really have a strong, like the two have a very strong overlap in one way and not in the other.
I'm not really convinced that is the case. And again, like, I don't know too much about flat eartherism. Like, my thing is just being an advocate for people who want to think outside the box and you know, they want to put themselves out there.
That's also how flat Earth is portrayed. That's exactly how flat Earth is portrayed. To where they don't trust science. Yeah. They believe that the shape of the Earth is flat because saying that it's round is in denying the existence of God. Like, there's a lot of things that they just believe to where it's like it's a government conspiracy that the Earth is round.
Yeah.
And I think that you get dangerously close to that again whenever you're then denying the moon landing. To where I think that the motivation behind saying, oh, we didn't go to the moon because of this or that or the government or blah, blah, blah. It's like, why don't we just make it, we can make it smaller than that. We don't even have to make it about going to the moon. Like, I can just prove to you that I don't need to trust the government and it not do anything with the moon landing. It's like, yeah, maybe the moon landing has a lot of weird people behind it. The government has weird people behind it. Have you not seen the geometry of Washington, D.C.? That shit's weird. That shit's fucking
It's
kooky.
literally the Freemasons.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that's like, I can point to a lot of other things to just go, yeah, the government's kind of odd and corrupt, and not have to use the moon landing behind it.
Yeah, well, first off, like, when you're making a case against the government, the permanent government, you don't need to invoke the moon landing at all. But when you're talking about the moon landing or doing a debate about the moon landing, you know, emphasizing that the government is not to be trusted is totally necessary. And not only that, like, my main gripe was not so much like, you know, the moon landing is fake or whatever, but it's more so that the animus and the hatred that so many people have towards people who believe that the Earth is flat it just seems so insane to me. Like I
Well,
don't
and,
like
and
I don't
it's
like
the
anime, right?
atheist
Like I
versus
don't.
theist thing.
Well, no,
It's
no, no, no,
that
no, no,
too.
no, no, no. It's more like I'm not into anime. I'm not into anime weeb culture. I don't really care for it. But like I don't fucking hate people who enjoy it or watch it or are into it. You know, because that's a personal
You
preference
do
thing,
dog
right?
on
We've
them
talked
though.
about personal
It's
preference.
the same
I
thing.
goof on you a little bit, but I don't fucking hate you. I'm just making the point. I'm not going after anybody who does a thing that I don't like. So I see a flat earther and they're going out there, they're buying their little fucking camera gear, they're buying their little instruments or whatever, and they're going out and they're conducting real world tests to prove that the earth is flat. Okay, it's kind of silly, you know, like watching anime, but like I don't care. They're not hurting anybody. And the disproportional like response to their existence like fucking worries me. Cause if it was up to people like Ozian Talks, who's a pedophile, and Craig, who I guess went to space, like they would put us in fucking jail for questioning science. Like they literally admitted this. Like these people are fucking evil. And you know what? Like I'm gonna be a champion to the flat earthers and to the moon landing deniers, even if like I don't necessarily agree or believe the flat earth stuff. But like we have a right to say these things without being molested and attacked viciously.
Well, and that's
who
why
was
I was
that one
using the
reporter
atheist.
though? Who was that one reporter though that actually went and interviewed one of the actual NASA astronauts and started questioning him on the moon landing? And then like the Sun was like, because they were still mic'd up, was like, oh, why don't we just get the CIA after him? Fuck, who was that? I can't remember now.
Oh, I know who you're.
I
I think it was on Joe Rogan. Yeah, he was a pretty interesting fella, and you know, like he made a lot of really interesting claims, and yeah, like a lot of people were like they went after them for like questioning this fucking narrative, and then of course like there's like the footage where they're just like they look so weird, and like the whole thing is completely off. In regards to being questioned, like, hey, what was your trip like in space?
I was trying to just keep it to where it's just like, if you're trying to make a point about something, you don't always have to use like this event to then go look at this one specific event. It's like, okay, that one event is going to have a lot of people behind it because NASA is a government institution. You know, it's one of the like most recognizable like logos and names that we know of, and people are going to defend it. And to that same point, it's the same thing with the atheists and the theists, to where you have people that believe in God and don't believe in God, and you have the atheists that just go, "Yeah, I don't think that God created me. You know, I'm just going to live my life and do my thing." But you have some that are anti-theists that really, really do not like people that believe in God, and they think that like if you don't believe in evolutionism, that you're, you know, that you're uneducated. If you believe in a God, that you're stupid, and like they'll say a lot of just degrading things about people's personal faith, to where that's not okay and that's not appropriate. And I would then say that's the same thing with your point, to where yeah, if I were to disagree with somebody about if we went to the moon or not, or if whatever the shape of the earth is, I might have my own opinions or biases about it. But yeah, I'm not going to try to go like, oh, shut them up, you know, they know too much or whatever. Like that's just not how I see it. I'm going to think that those people are not educated. You know, I think that there's a lot of evidence to prove that the earth is round. I think that we've traveled around this planet too much to just go, oh yeah, there's just too many people that have traveled that don't have any sort of um like you're telling me that every pilot is just paid off by big flat earth to keep quiet about it.
You
Like
mean round Earth, the round Earthers?
big flat earth. Like if the earth is flat, they'd be big flat earth, not big round earth. So that's why I'm kind of like, okay, at a certain point, I think the you get a little bit in the weeds about stuff.
Oh, you might be
Damn.
right. I mean, what about you, Turge? Do you believe the moon landing happened?
I'm gonna say it was during the Cold War, and I doubt it because we had to one up the Ruskies.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, you know, discussion for another time. Well, before we get out of here, there's been a lot of conventions, a lot of game-related shows. Any game you guys are excited about playing in the near future?
Tropico 7.
What about you, Cheese?
Not really. There's a couple interesting things, but I didn't see anything that I was like jumping up and down. I have like 150 game library on Steam. Like, I already got enough fucking shit to chew through. I don't need the next $80 game or whatever.
Yeah, the only thing I'm really looking forward to is Ill, which is a first-person shooter that's like totally based and awesome. It's probably one of the most beautiful first-person shooters I've ever seen. This beast can handle it for sure. Other than that, Dawn of War 40K, 4 and Warhammer 40K, like those two are gonna be fucking epic. So yeah, that's about it. But yeah, guys, we had a very, very long show talking about Karmello Anthony and Richard Spencer's horse shit and I guess aliens. Yeah, so hopefully next week we'll be pirating Disclosure Day and we'll be reviewing it, or I'll be reviewing it. And so see if Steven Spielberg still has it. But because we are one and the same, I will probably give it a glowing review, even if I disagree with it philosophically. All right. Do you think the film's gonna be good? Are you guys even planning to watch it? I apologize if I didn't.
We could do a watch party or something if you want.
Yeah, you know what? That might be
ask some
fun.
family to
That
watch
might
a
be
movie.
fun.
I don't know.
We could probably get some homies to join us. We'll have a watch party. All the greenskins just being degenerate and making fun of the.
I'll get some popcorn.
Yeah, I make my own movie theater style popcorn. It's really delicious. I don't know. Maybe I should do a cooking video. Oh, fuck all that. I don't got time for that shit. All right, guys. Well, yeah, fuck Karmello Anthony. May he rest in piss in that cell of his. I hope he cries every single day. I hope it's fucking miserable for him. And yeah, Anthony Brian Logan, he's a bitch. Richard Spencer's a bitch. That Major Tur guy's a bitch. Jasmine Crockett, she's on the fucking ropes. Good for her. Get the fuck out of here, dumb bitch. All these low IQ retards defending this murderer. They can suck my ass on Pride Month. Other than that, dude, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for supporting the show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Okay, Zombie Bomb wants a popcorn video. I'm gonna be making a popcorn video because she asked so nicely. And yeah, guys, dude, I'm gonna spill the popular Giovanni recipe for my delicious movie theater popcorn. So hopefully, yeah, shut the fuck up. It's organic. So yeah, no sugar.
Fuck flat Earth.
All right, that's it. You're banned from the show. All right, everybody, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. I'm out.